All right, I want to welcome everyone to the family tree. Put your hands together, all right? All right. Welcome. All right, and we're going to go in today and talk about whatever's going on in the world. Lots going on, y'all.
Look out.
We got a lot to talk about. And hopefully we'll get into the subjects and things that we have to talk about because you know what? We have to have a place where we can all sort of get around the tree and then talk about what we talk about, right? All right, before we get started, I want to introduce our host with the most, Bill 1L Morgan over there. Let's give him a hand. Yes, Big B.
What up? Yo.
All right, Big B. So, Big B, tell us what's going on, man, in the world.
Well, you got to take me out of this frame so I can get to my stuff. We all like this. I can't get to nothing, man.
There you go.
All right. Here I am, guys. Look, straight off the bat, we're going to go to our very favorite website. You know what that is, right? That's ncov2019.live. That's ncov2019.live. And as of 16 minutes ago, here are the update numbers for the entire world. Our quick facts. Total confirmed cases, 268,054,223. Okay. Total critical, 88,410. Total deceased, 5,294,337. Total active cases, 23,050,662. Total recovered, here we go, Dr. P, give me my drum roll, buddy. Total recovered, 239,494,844.
Wow, that's a lot of people, man. That's a lot of folks, man. Y'all need to be shouting, man.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Yo, in the middle of all the chaos and craziness and confusion that they're spinning on the media, it's good to be encouraged that, you can go somewhere and find out some real numbers because you're not going to get these numbers. So I want you all to write that. Make sure if you have not done so, if you're the first time here, look at that website, ncov2019.live. That's an excellent site. Epidemiologist reports, everything goes into one location, updated every 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. You can't beat it. It's one of the best resources that you have. So if you're talking to somebody and you need to know what's going on in a certain place in the world, that's where you want to go. All right? So make sure you check that, put that, in your Rolodex or as far as the phone decks now.
That's right. And
make sure you put it on save because that's one that you really need. Especially when you're looking at places around the world, South Africa, but it's spinning a image that all Africa is like that, and that's not the truth.
Amen.
If you look at, it's just South Africa is hidden. All the other parts of Africa, if you look at that list, you'll see they're not having the same problems.
Yes.
You got it? They're actually detoxing. They're doing the things that they traditionally do, cleansing every change of season, and you'll notice that their numbers based on population, are way low. So we're going to keep our eye on it. Omicron is on the rise, and of course it's moving. Continue to do what we do. We've been talking about this for over 2 years now, building the immune system, and that's what we do. As simple as that, all right? So we're going to get started today, and we're going to say welcome. If this is the first time you're here, this is the time when we actually ask questions, and we say gather around the tree.
That's right.
Because when even the ancient times, we gathered around the tree because that was where we got the family together because that's your social security. Say it slow, y'all. Social security. That means that it's your social security is not a check. It's your family, right? So whatever you need help with, always know that you can bring it to the tree, talk about it to your family, and therefore you can actually find the solutions. You'd be surprised. More of your solutions are right around your family. So we're going to continue to do that tonight. And if you have a question or concern or a testimony or anything that's on your heart, look down in the lower part of your bar. You'll see a reactions bar with a little smiley face. You hit that and click and raise your hand, and we'll get you in, okay? We'll see if we can get you in. You'll raise your hand like Big B over there. He always shows.
Hey, bam, no, not that one, guys.
Not that hand.
Not that one, guys. I have another. See, there I are, right there.
But you'll we'll see your hand up, and therefore we'll try to get to your question. Also,
Right.
if you're someone that if you don't want to get on visual, make sure we just mute yourself, family. Mute yourself.
Yes, yes, yes.
Keep yourself on mute. If you're not talking, please put yourself on mute right now. Please,
Yes,
everybody,
yes,
put
yes.
yourself on mute. If you're not talking, we want to make sure we give each person ability and the time that they need. So if you are someone who has a question, you can put it in the chat box.
Yes.
And if you put it down in the chat box, we got Prophetess in here. Yes, Prophetess in the house.
She's in
we
the
got
house.
fingers.
Where they go, fingers?
Prophetess will in there. She'll type it in there and get it to you, and she'll put it on the timeline that we have there. And eventually, it will become a document that Big B over there can get that out to you. Got it? Transcript.
That's right.
So Big B, give them the transcript address or your email so
Yeah,
that if they
guys.
have a question about that.
Right. If you want to have a copy of the tonight's transcript, just send an email to Mecca Video. That's MECCAVIDEO @gmail.com. Okay. That's meccavideo@gmail.com. Again, MECCAVIDEO @gmail.com.
All right.
Send in your request. And look, he knows. I don't be playing. Once we get done, I have that out
he
first
does not
thing in the
play.
morning.
He hounds me till the early morning.
That's right. I'm right on his back, guys, because I know you want the stuff right off the
He
front.
hounds me. He like, where you at, man? What you doing? What you doing?
Yeah,
What's
where
up?
you at,
Get
man?
up.
That's
What's the
right.
matter?
All right.
So, also, last thing, if you are someone that's calling in and we cannot see you, or of course we can't see you, and you may have bypassed that coming in, there is an option that you can actually raise your hand. But even if you did not see that and you're interested in having a question or concern, just let us know and we'll try to get to you, okay? We can't get to everybody, all right? We got to say
Yes.
that. The disclaimer is that we can't get to everybody. We've tried to get to as many as possible, but we do our very best. So if you have a question, concern, you can also at the end forward it over to Bill Morgan, 1L Morgan over there, and he will get that question to me, and maybe we can try to see if we can get it to you by email. All right?
Right.
All right. We're going to start it all.
All
Big
right.
B, give me
man.
something over there. What you got on the chat, man?
Yeah, man, right on the very, very top. This is coming from Harold. He says, Dr. Paul, there's always information about the gut's microbiome, but never anything concerning the outer skin's microbiome. How can we help protect or strengthen our outer microbiome? That's
Sure
number one.
thing.
And then second, we're kind of following in succession here. In case of power outage and loss of vital heat this winter, thermal blanket bags, silvery lining maintains your body's temperature and possibly increase the body internal environment. I guess that's kind of
Okay.
something else. Okay, but the
Yeah.
primary thing is about the outer microbiome.
Okay, sure. The outer skin. We're talking about the skin. Again, you
Right.
got to talk about vitamin D.
Yes.
I talk a lot about vitamin D, changes seasons. Got it? So your skin has everything to do with, of course, light, sunlight. You're not getting the sunlight now in vitamin D now that we're in the fall, so you got to raise the numbers. Of course, we know that where are we now, family? Y'all should be able to answer this one. Where are we right now on vitamin D? D2, D3, right? Where number should you be on? Can somebody answer that one? You should be at what?
10,000.
10,000.
10,000.
You got it.
There you go.
10,000 IUs. You got it. 10,000 IUs.
What
Vitamin,
about children?
same thing. We're all at the same level. Remember, this is food. So it's not something that you can't overdose on. You can't overdose on food. So this is basically food. So D2 or D3. Got it? That should be 10,000 IUs. When we get back into the spring and the summer, we're going to lower it to what? 5,000.
5,000 for
You
summer.
got it?
Rain and
Now,
summer.
protection on the skin that you can have, additional protection to the skin, actually goes into things that clean the liver. Any herbs that clean the liver will clean the skin. You got it? Say that. Say that. I want y'all to say that. Say any herbs that clean the liver clean the skin. That's it. You got it? That's what's going to push out. That's why whenever there's a toxicity issue of any kind, you're going to see that it's always going to be with bumps, blisters, boils, psoriasis, eczema, anything is trying to push it out. That's coming out of liver. Got it? So we got to keep that going. So things like aloe vera gel, not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. Aloe vera gel, it's good for the skin. Also, we have the lavender oil, coconut oil. Got it? I would also do a tea tree oil. Okay, that's a combination. Coconut oil. I did say coconut oil, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And you can, of course, do the shea butters. Okay, shea butter is very good for that. Okay, so there's a lot of different oil, different things that are good for the skin. Also, MSM, methylsulfonymethane, is good. That's for hair, skin, and nails. And that MSM is something that you can buy in crystals, and that is taken with a quarter teaspoon in some water, and always get the flakes. Okay, cleans out all the cells, so that allows the skin cells to actually clear out. So that means that when you start to use both topical, internal, and external, that's what we deal with the skin biome. Got it? All right, what was the other question there, Big B?
Okay, the other one, no, it was really kind of like an advertisement, Dr. Paul.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Okay,
I got you.
there, excuse me, there are three questions that kind of run in succession here, and the question has to do with having, well, I guess making love. Okay, can sex be healing? Number one.
Can it be healing?
Yes, can it be healing?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Number two, how many times, Glory, how many times should a couple have sex to conceive? Once, Glory?
As often as possible.
Is that a question? What?
I like the comments here.
Yes.
I just gotta
And
let y'all know,
should-
y'all got the peanut gallery going on in the
How
back.
old should you be to stop having it? Never.
And you can't do anything.
Bill just
Never.
answered all the questions. He just answered all the questions. I said, I don't have to answer anything.
I'm sorry. Did I say that? I didn't. I said, but
No, you just answered all the questions. I ain't gotta answer nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, I said one said, "Well, excuse the health out of me."
All right. So
now.
what was the first one again? Now,
Can
first
sex,
one.
Can sex be healing? Number one.
Can it be healing? Yes,
Yes.
it can.
how so?
Part of naturopathy is that. How do I unpack this? There are positions that are for chronic diseases. Did y'all hear that?
See,
You
there
didn't even
go.
know that,
See?
did you?
See,
Y'all didn't even know that. That's an adult class. I ain't gonna show that tonight.
Glory.
but
Don't want
but
my computer
yes,
to burn up.
yeah, you don't want it to burn up. But yes,
Okay.
there are positions that are used for chronic conditions that are specifically for healing. You ever see when you ever see the beds that have the posts, like the big posts? Some of y'all probably have them. They got the 4 posts.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me just sort of break this down so slowly. Each post represents 4. Whenever you see 4, represents foundation.
Wow.
Okay.
And the concept of the bed represents that making love was actually the form of giving glory to God.
Well, hallelujah.
Okay? All right, I'm going there. All right. So, y'all smiling now. Y'all blushing. All y'all blushing. Everybody turning red. What's going on over there?
This is one healthy class.
Yes, it is. I got everybody undivided attention right now.
Okay.
All right. So the 4 posts represent foundation, and what it represents is that each post represents male, female, and in the front, male, female on the opposite sides. Got it? So that represents balance. Now, have you ever see the beds with the head post got the sun in the middle?
Yes. Yes.
You got the sun in the middle. You ever see that?
Mm-hmm.
You ever see? Somebody said,
That's Neitha grunting
that's
over there.
neat over there. Well, that represents giving praise to God. That's what it represents. Ain't
You
that
want to
deep?
praise him now.
Yes, you do.
Wow.
And there was certain things that we do in naturopathy that's based on these concepts. And I'm not going to go too deep tonight, y'all. But it represents that, certain times of making love, you should not do it during certain times. Like, for example, it shouldn't be making love during times of thunderstorms.
Uh-huh.
That's an interesting. You should never make love during times after you've been mad.
I understand that.
Yeah, there's songs that broke based on that one, right?
Well, don't you know?
So, yes, there is times for this is all part of the process that we know that whenever there was love making, it was for the glory of God, that the two that come together make one, and from that can only happen with ultimately you praising God and giving God the glory. Got it?
Wow.
That's why you have the sun that's in the middle of the bed. Like you see the bed like that, that represents the rising of the sun. That was it. So that was the birth of a new beginning. That's the whole concept of it.
Right.
Yep. All right. So what was the other question? There was
the
another
second
one.
was how many times should a couple have that is to conceive, Doctor. Let me qualify that. To conceive.
To conceive. That's
Yes.
that's a question that really depends on the situation.
Yes.
To conceive, there is actually a way that we have talked about how to determine the times of fertility versus the time of infertility. Is that what you're talking about? I think that's what
Pretty
they're
much,
talking
yes.
about. Okay, yes. Usually there is a cycle, and I have to really go into this because that's a class all of its own.
Right. Okay.
That we do with called male female principles and male female.
I see. I can't even hear it though.
Yep. Come on, you gotta mute yourself, y'all. You gotta mute yourself.
There we
Mute
go.
yourself. So that's a whole class, but I'm sort of just giving you snapshots.
Okay.
That yes, there are positions for things like for having children. There is a time frame for having a boy versus a girl. And it does work, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we can tell you. Yeah,
See
yes.
that, Cricket? You didn't
See
know that, did you?
See,
So
Cricket
there.
didn't know that. And it does work. Absolutely, it does work.
Okay.
Absolutely. You can determine because it's based off of cycles and rhythms and ovulations, things like that. So we can tell you exactly if you have a choice to have a boy or a girl. You know, that's what we do on this side. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right. What was the other question?
And the last one was how old should you be to stop having sex?
I think you already answered that one, Bill. Never, as long as you have the desires and yes, absolutely, and that's it. As long as that
you know
have
what's so
the
interesting,
vibe.
Dr. Moore, you know what's so interesting about this is that sometimes I think our society today has shunted us down because we don't talk to each other anymore. So, because the best way to learn is to do exactly what we're doing right here at the tree. The family is where this stuff should be talked about.
This is where you talk about it. That's why I say, we can talk about anything here. That is exactly my point. Exactly. It should never be like, oh, don't talk about that here. No, that's where you want to find out. Where else you going to learn it? Where else you going to learn about your culture?
Well,
This is what I'm talking about is cultural.
Yes.
Not what is written in these books that are Western European books that have been idealized in their culture and not our culture. There's a lot that we have to talk about and reinstitute. See, remember, we had a time called rites of passage. And rites of passage is a time when a boy becomes a man and a girl becomes a woman. And with that, they have certain things that they go through. Has anyone ever heard of the 8-bowl ceremony? 8-bowl ceremony.
I have.
Anyone heard of the prophetess? I think you've heard of the 8-bowl ceremony, right? So the 8-bowl ceremony is that you're teaching the youth who are becoming of age how to deal with all types of life. So every one of the bowls represents something that they're going to go through in that life. So, for example, some of the things that are in the bowl would be a lemon, which represents the bitter times in life. There may be another one that has salt for the salty times when you might be upset. There's one that has cayenne pepper in it. That represents the hot and critical times. Also, there's one that has honey in it, which represents the sweet times in life. But then there's also a time when there was just water in the bowl, which represents the refreshing of what you've been going through.
Wonderful.
So this is what's called the 8-bowl ceremony and also rites of passage. And from this rites of passage, the equivalence of understanding, y'all know I talked to y'all about the male and the female principle, right?
Yes.
It teaches us how to talk to all levels and ages of people. So if you were a young man, it would teach you how to talk to a woman, an older woman, same age or younger, or elder. And it would also, for a woman or a young girl, show her how to deal with speaking to her mother, father, brother, uncle. It was always about a communication. So it was all called, that's what's called rites of passage. But they had an understanding of what's called male and female principles. So that means that at the same time, you're learning all these things, you're learning also the science. And the science is about the herbs, about all the different things. Did you know that in our times, in ancient Kemet, and also in times of ancient African culture, the equivalent of learning at the age of about 13 of accountability, that was equivalent to a PhD right now.
Wow.
You got that? That's how, of science and everything that we teach. There's actually like about 7 levels of higher level learning, which is called exoteric, which is modern general science, and then esoteric, which means about 7 different levels of the hidden knowledge and understanding. Shapes, triangles, pyramids, things like that, things like alchemy, how to deal with plants, energy in plants. Ain't that deep, y'all? We got a deep heritage, y'all. We got a deep, deep heritage. So that's where it's important for understanding how we got together and how we matched also. So when you had male and female, there was a way of looking at you. Did you know that you can look at each other and tell if you are a perfect match for a male, or if a female comes in, men, you can tell if the woman was perfect for you? Yep, that's it. Maybe we'll get into it one day, but we ain't getting into it today.
Hallelujah.
Dr. Paul, come on now.
Oh, again.
Oh, Dr. Paul, we want to
That's
hear it.
that's an adult show right there.
Yes, that's
an adult presentation
program.
right there.
Dr. Paul, going back to vitamin D really quickly, you were saying that we should be taking 10,000 IUs. Is that daily or weekly?
That's daily.
Okay.
Daily.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's even for children, like toddlers?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Well, not toddlers. You're talking about toddlers. No. When you're talking about usually toddlers, you're going to have to take, there are usually levels of, you do half of all those dosages. Got it? You don't do that much. No, not for toddlers. Not that. No. When you're trying to do it, usually about 6 years on up, it based on the situation, as long as there's no complications. But remember, it's still food, but we want to basically take it easy with them. See, they don't need a whole lot. Children don't need a whole lot
Just forming.
because they're just forming and they're not exposed to a lot of toxicity. The key is to keep the poisons away from them, like the sugars, the salts, all the sugary candy and the salts and all the oils and things like that, and the junk food. That's it. Children's system regenerates so fast because they don't have a lot that's exposing them to. They haven't been exposed to a lot.
Right.
Got it?
Okay, so somebody
All right.
who's like 2 years old, you would recommend maybe.
I would have to look at them first. You can't just give a wild number. You can't do that. So you would have to take each person or the child. If there was a problem, then we would address it like that. But there's no need to do that for the children. They would just get something like a green drink, and that usually would suffice them.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right, Big B.
I got
You got one
ones.
more, and we'll go to the board. Okay.
Two quick ones. First of all, a very short one. What's your view about eating according to your blood type? And the second one is, can you tell what herbs men should take and foods they should consume to avoid a healthy, an unhealthy prostate?
Sure. Number one, eating for your blood type. At one time, when that came out, that was actually equivalent. Not to say that it's not equivalent right now, which means that it's not something that is of relevance. But the problem is when you start genetically modifying the food, you just change the game. That's like somebody coming in, they had a deck of cards, and now they just came in with a fresh deck of cards that don't have no faces on them. You don't know where it is.
Yeah.
See, this whole GMO factor has changed everybody. There's no way you can say that the genetic modifications of all the food has not altered the blood, because it has. You know, you eat something GMO, it's going to change you. So it may help some people, but I don't attest to that because of the fact that people don't take in consideration the GMO factor. And that means the genetic modification. They're still talking about all fruits are fruits. No, it's not. Conventional versus organic. Two different worlds. You got it? There's no such thing as a seedless organic watermelon. You got it? You can't tell me that's not altering, the genes of the body. So, yeah. So I would say that, it's relevant to a certain degree, but I wouldn't take it as a total grain of salt. Got it? I take it as a grain of salt.
Okay.
Got it? All right. What was the other question?
The next one was about the herbs for men's prostate, remember?
Yes. For the prostate, there's always 3 herbs that we recommend, and every man should have this in their cupboard. And the first lines of weakness of the prostate goes with incontinence, okay? Incontinence. So that means there's 3 herbs that are astringent herbs. Wild alum, okay, not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. Wild alum, witch hazel, and shepherd's purse. Those are your 3.
Okay.
They help with the balance of the prostate in early stages of prostate problems. But I'm going to add a few more things. There's a lot of men that have a lot of issues with lower back problems, which tend to cause a lot of issues with the prostate and also constipation. So you got to look at both of those factors. So lower back, so it's lower lumbar, usually L1 through L4, L5, and then going into the constipation factor. A lot of men are constipated. And when they sit, and don't move the bowels, eating too much meat, it sits in the rectum, and then it's a very thin wall that moves right into the prostate. So that's why we got to, address all those above issues. Got it?
Okay.
All right. All right. I'm going to go to our list here. And let's see, who do we have up here? I'm going to go here. Is that Alfreda?
Yes. Hey, Dr. Paul. How are
Hey,
you?
how
How's
you doing?
everybody?
Good,
I am
good.
doing
Just fine.
okay. I am so glad that I got in early so I can get my questions in. So I have just a couple of questions. One is concerning my adult daughter, who the doctor said that she had she had 2 tears in her shoulder, her rotator cuff, and it's been swollen for about 3 weeks. So I want to know if there are any herbs. She's now going to physical therapy because it had been so painful for her. And they said, no, they didn't want to do an MRI, but they just recommend that she apply heat to it and then go to physical therapy.
And rotator cuff. I can speak directly to this. I had a torn rotator cuff. We played baseball, and that is one of the common injuries for baseball players, especially that throw a lot. So I can tell you that you need, number 1, rest. That's it. So the brucea, okay, usually the tear happens in the brucea, which is like the pads of the rotator cuff. So they happen to, we use things like, and you can write these down, comfrey, okay. Comfrey. Also MSM, which is methyl sulfonamethane.
Yes.
And then also we may use topical, we may use a turpentine oil, or they call it turpentine spirits, which mean that they actually go in and they go directly to the brucea and help it to bring back its lubrication. But all that's to say, she has to get on a strict diet when it comes to staying off acid-forming foods. Got it? Because acid-forming foods are going to cause the body to go after that brucea, the tissue, connective tissue, joints, ligaments, all those areas, and that causes more inflammation. So water is number 1. So she got to get number 1. She got to get her water right. So you get her on point with her water, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you know what water to get her, right?
I do.
Yep. Get her on the water.
Yep.
Half the body weight in ounces. And
Yep, yep.
that's number one. And with that, there's also comfrey. There is a comfrey ointment that she can have. Okay, Dr. Christopher's has a comfrey ointment that you can actually take. Yep, it's like a salve. It's a salve that you can push right into there. That along with turpentine oil should get you to reach. There you go. There you see Karam. Do you see Karam on the screen?
Wait.
He has it right there. Comfrey ointment. You see it?
Okay.
Dr. Christopher?
Okay. Got it.
Very, very good. Right? And stay away from the acid-forming foods. Go to the Dr. Paul website and download the acid alkaline foods and stay away from the acid foods. That's it.
I have that list already myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So
And then the
those-
next, thank you so much. And then the next thing is concerning another family member. And I had spoken to you about her before because she was going through a period of grieving. But now the doctor has determined that because she has no energy and she just kind of has difficulty making it from one room in her house to the other. So they put her on weekly B12 shots. And they said that is going to help her. They didn't talk to her about diet or anything else, just simply that they're going to give her the weekly shots. And then they also told her that during some period of time, she had an infection that caused her to have a lesion on her brain, but the lesion is now gone, but she's going to have to come in every 6 months to get an MRI.
There's a lot going on there.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So here, let's back it up. Whenever you see all of these things going on, remember, if she was going through a lot of stress, anxiety, things like that, immediately what comes to mind is liver. Got it? Got it? Liver. Because the liver is the organ of the emotions. Got it? Toxicity buildup. Remember, your liver does thousands of different things. Y'all know how important the liver is? The liver is one of the most incredible organs that you have that does so many things. Not only does it produce the enzymes and balances cholesterol, and it sort of fights for you and cleans the blood and all those things, but it also deals on a spiritual level connected to your brain. It keeps your mind right. If all systems fail, if you're in the hospital and all systems fail, you ever heard somebody say, well, so-and-so ain't got much more time left now? Got it? And they say that all systems, they have multiple system failure. The last always to fail is the liver. You got it? Because the liver, it actually runs the brain. We call it laws of complementary pairs. It's what it's called, laws of complementary pairs, which means you're hooked up directly to your brain from your liver. So whatever you're going through, your liver's going through. And vice versa. So what you got to do, you got to clean that liver. And when she's going through something, you mentioned two things. You said she's depressed or has anxiety, and she's tired all the time. That's liver. Absolutely. Well, to be sure about that, I would recommend assessment. You know, we can see that what's called bilirubin usually is a first sign. And that's when we do things like specifically what I see that helps a lot of people not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent disease. It's food for the soul, y'all. Is things like burdock root. Things like gotu kola. Things like bacopa. Things like ashwagandha. You know, these are things that deal dandelion roots, neem. There was another one, cleavers, moringa. All these are good because they clean the liver. You got it? See, there's multiple solutions to a problem. We've just been conditioned that, you know, one bullet for this, one magic bullet for that, one bullet for that. When we got multiple systems and things that actually overlap. So you got multiple solutions to a problem. Got it? But right now, she got to get her water right. She got to get her water right. Absolutely. And then you have to get a detox. Remember, clean the blood and you clean all the organs because all of the blood flows through every organ every 20 minutes. Got it? How long we been on here? How long we been on here?
No, 45 minutes.
Yeah. See, y'all flowing right now.
Yeah.
See?
Mhm,
Didn't even know
mhm,
that. Didn't
Gone-
even know
gone
that.
twice-
Your blood is
twice
cleansing,
around.
flowing through around. Right.
Twice around already.
You got it?
mhm.
So
Okay,
hopefully
I got
that
it.
helps her. See, that helps her. But understand, I've always heard, and I used to do research because I have a couple of I have some published works, with the universities and things like University of Penn and Stanford and a couple of them, and they always used to come to me and they used to say, mind, body, spirit. That
Yes.
used to burn me up. I was like, no, that ain't it. They'd be like, what do you mean? I said, it can't flow that way.
Yes.
And they say, oh, forget it. I said, no, you can't forget it. It can only flow one way. Spirit, mind, and body in that order. Got it?
Mhm.
And the
Got
spirit
it.
realm is with the Father, came to your mind, and then your butt moved. That was it. Spirit, mind, and body. That's the
Spirit,
only
mind,
way
body.
it can move. Y'all got it?
Yes.
So
Got it.
keep that
Got it.
keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Don't be fooled, y'all. Stay awake. Stay woke.
All right.
All right, Aubrey.
Thank you.
All right. Very good.
I went
Very
on a
good.
little sidebar then. I'm sorry, y'all. I got caught up a little bit.
That's all right.
Dr. Paul,
I started getting revolutionary. I'm sorry. All right.
Alfreda is my mom, and that's my cousin. And all that radiation that she's going to be getting, isn't that bad for her?
Absolutely, yeah. See, radiation doesn't work with melanation. When melanin absorbs, see, the chemical key to life itself is melanin, and melanin absorbs light. It takes anything and absorbs it, and then makes a whole lot out of it. So that's why we got to be very careful with X-rays of all kinds, X-rays, MRIs, things like that. That's how we do a preparation for if you're going into x-rays or mammograms and things like that. That's why we use the sea vegetables. Got it? Sea vegetables are those things that help to not only pull that stuff out of you, but it blocks radiation. That's why they use things like kelp tablets when you're in like if the nuclear power plants, y'all seen the people that work in the nuclear power plants, where they give them kelp tablets. So it has these things that blocks radioactive isotopes. You got it? So that's why it's always a good thing to take kelp before you during that period while you're in radiation or taking radiation therapy, things like that. So that's what we do to keep you protected. All right. All right. Let's see. Good questions though, y'all. Y'all got some good ones tonight. Big B, they throwing something out here
That's
tonight.
right, man. Trying to get you
All
going
right.
here. That's right.
All right, Alfreda.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
Thank you.
Sure
All
man.
right. All right. Who we got here? Helen. What's up, Helen?
How you doing, Dr. Paul?
She got the
Hi,
tree
Bill.
up in the back, Bill. She
How's
got the
everybody
tree
doing?
up in the back there, man.
Yes, indeed.
Thank
Yes,
you.
indeed.
We don't have long. It'll be here soon. Yeah, so I have a couple questions. The first one is about corns on your feet. How do you eliminate the corns?
Yeah, moisture. You got to get moisture back in there. Yep.
Moisture.
You got to start wearing them tight
Tight
shoes,
shoes.
girl.
Yeah.
You got to start wearing them tight shoes. That's it. Usually when the tight shoes, that's usually what the problem is. The tight shoes, and then the rubbing of the weight and the balance of the shoe actually causes rushing, and then of course causes calluses and corns and things like that. So things that are moisture would be like the lavender oil, the shea butters, the coconut oil, the aloe vera gels. All those things help to keep the foot moist. Got it? But you gotta watch that, because when you got the pointy toe shoes, that'll give you bunions too. Got it?
Right.
That causes the feet to shape in a certain direction, like this, and that's when you're cramming all of that pressure into the foot, and it's starting to move the toes inward like that. So that's not good.
I think mine's mostly came from wearing high heels. Like back in the day, I used to wear these really high heels going to church, and I kind of limited down a little bit. I got little small pumps now, but I used to wear those real high heels, and they were pointing.
Them
I think that's where it came
stilettos.
from.
Them stilettos, y'all. Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
they'll get
And
you, boy.
it's going to put a lot of pressure on that right there, and
Right.
it also, yeah, absolutely. So you're spot on.
The next question is, like, if you're out in the cold, and what would you suggest, like a warm up exercise that you could do when you're standing out in the cold? Maybe you're waiting for the bus or you're waiting for something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just this. That's it. That's all.
That's real
it.
easy.
Rubbing them hands together. Yeah. You know, we do a little Tai Chi when we
Just
do
doing
like,
this, that's it.
yeah, create the heat like this. Create the heat like this, you know.
And all the
You know,
frost
we
is
do-
coming out your mouth, and you're like,
Yep. So we do a lot of, there are some movements that is, there is a Tai Chi. Let me look at that. I got to figure out which one it is. There's a Tai Chi and Qigong that actually, there's movements that actually generate heat. I'll never forget this. We were having a men's gathering group, and it was in the wintertime. And literally, we were inside the building, and we were in the circle, and we were at the Eagle's Nest. Where Rev? I see Rev up there.
I
Hey,
see
man.
Rev up
We
on
were
the
at the
corner.
Eagle's Nest,
Yes,
and we
sir.
were in there, and we got in a circle, and it's the middle of the winter. I'm talking about snow on the ground and everything. And, man, it got so hot up in there, we were all opening the door because it generates a lot of heat. Anybody know about Tai Chi and Qigong? That's actually a form of, martial arts, which is actually balancing the male-female principle. Got it? So it generates a lot of heat. So you can go right online and do some of those exercises, and it actually generates a lot of heat. Yeah. I wouldn't do that at a bus stop, though. You might scare somebody.
I mean, you could be outside, doing something, anything,
Yeah, yeah.
It's good to know.
Yep,
And even
yep.
if you were on the phone with, let's say you're at work and you were on the phone and somebody seemed to give you an attitude or something, there's certain kind of techniques you can kind of like inhale and exhale, just
Yep,
the
just
negative
inhale.
energy just rolled off me.
Yeah. You
Yes.
got to really, during the holiday seasons, we all have to be able to balance good and bad energy. Because, it seems like some people will give you those little things that sort of throw you off,
Yes.
and say, why they say that? Why they say that? And whatever the situation, don't play it off. Just keep moving, y'all. Don't get into it. Don't play into it.
Yes.
Try to stay focused. Try to stay upbeat. Don't let anyone draw your energy from you. You got it. That's the key. I would say stay upbeat and always have the way of knowing how to go back into prayer. Go into prayer. Go into meditation.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah,
Yes, Lord.
absolutely. Go in prayer. That's
Lord,
right.
give me strength. Yes.
Yeah.
Get me through this. Thank you so
Always.
very much, Dr. Paul. Always.
Always.
You're always upbeat and bubbly.
Oh, I'm bubbly. I'm bubbly, Bill. You see
Bubbly.
that? I'm
Yeah,
bubbly.
take it.
You make
y'all.
us laugh.
I'm
Laughter.
bubbly.
That's medicine. Laughter is
A
healing.
merry heart doeth good like
Thank
a
you,
medicine,
Bill.
Helen.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Ellen. Appreciate you.
All right.
All right. All right.
We got
All right. We
Simone.
got there's that Sheila. Sheila. Hey, Sheila.
Yeah, there we go. Sheila up in the
Hey,
corner.
Dr. Paul.
How you doing?
Hi,
Hey.
everybody.
All right.
I want a veggie back off of Helen's last week.
Okay.
Veggie back.
That's right. That's right. Veggie back.
Yes. When she was speaking about having a hand problem, I wanted to get in, but it was too late.
Right.
Because just recently I noticed that I had like a little numbness in my left hand.
Mm-hmm.
My pointer and my middle finger felt a little tingly and numb. Then I noticed that I had a little bump on the outer part of that same hand, near the tendon. So, and it doesn't hurt, but you could feel a little pressure when you touch it. So
Got
I
it.
went to an orthopedic doctor, and I had an ultrasound done, and they told me that it was a peripheral nerve sheath tumor.
Mm.
That is benign.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to do a procedure to remove it, to of course put it under the microscope. But the first thing I thought of was Dr. Paul. Don't do it.
Okay. Now say which area was that again? Now.
Right on the outside of my left hand. Right. I'm very veiny, so it appeared that it was on the vein, but it moves. So it's
Right.
really not on the vein. It's kind of near the tendon, It's like a little bump.
Right. Now, you didn't fall or anything, right? Or
No,
were you in
I
an
have no
accident or anything
memory.
like that?
No, no, no.
Okay. Yeah. So I would start immediately. What comes to mind? The same thing as you would do with any tendons, joints, ligaments, tendons, bones, things like that. I would start to soak them. That's what I go. I truly believe we got to get back to soaking bones again. Everybody's taking showers in and out, and you really should be soaking the bones. Because you really have to regenerate the bone density. So that starts with things like the Himalayan salts and the Epsom salts and things like that. Salts baths are not only regenerating, but they're resetting. So that resets your total body's energy. You got it? So it sort of grounds you again. Salt grounds you. That's what it does. It grounds you. And that's why when people say, stay off the salt. No, it's not the salt you got to stay off of. You got to stay off the refined salt. That's the bad salt. See, what happens and makes cells have ability to communicate with each other, they have to have salt. That's what's the transmission of the melanin in the body. It has a level of salt. So what happens when you don't have it, or people say, well, I don't have no salt at all. That's not a good answer. You need some salt. That's why the Bible says you the salt of the earth. and now that you can't have no salt, no, that's a lie. Somebody's lying to you. You need salt. You need a salt, but it's what they're doing to the salt that's the problem. So I would start with soaking, again, that hand, and let it continue to correct itself. That's usually ripping, burning, cutting, surgery is always the last resort if there's a structural issue. You got it? I would also use the comfrey creams that we talked about. I would also use, I would even see a chiropractor about that. There is a technique of chiropractic called bone setting. Bone setting. And that means that there may be possibly there's a bone slightly out of place that's shifting due to either tension of one of the tendons, too much tension on one and not enough on the other. That could have been stress from just years of just using your hands or something, or maybe if you're a secretary or something like that you just may not have been aware of. So that, along with watching your diet, acid, make sure you got enough water. Those are the things that I would do as checkpoints. But I would start with soaking first. That's what I would do.
When they called it a tumor, was what?
Yeah, but I understand. See, remember, when you're talking about fibroids, anything that's fibrosis, cyst, or tumors is the body isolating toxins. So it's very possible you could have had something in that area that just was not moving and it just got locked into that area. So that means you got to break that up in that area. So massage therapy in that hand also comes to mind, along with getting someone to get into there, which is like a chiropractor who does like bone setting or tendon work. And I would suggest that first before as the last resort, going into surgery.
Yeah,
you got it?
What about salt sweets?
What was that?
What about salt sweets?
Salt sweets?
Like the Himalayan salt sweets, like that they have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Are they good?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Anything dealing with Himalayan salt is going to be healing. So they have all these Himalayan salt therapies. You can go in there, they lay the stones on you. They'll have you in the water for a while. Any of them, all those soaks are good. But in this case, though, it's just your hand, right? It's just your hand. Yeah. So I would do that. That's where I would do first, and then move forward from there.
Yeah, I thought about the chaparral and the burdock, all the treatments that you told me about in the past about tumors. Start putting them in my green drink again.
Right. Chaparral is good too, because you are talking about possibly a lymphatic blockage in that area, but also what comes to mind is circulation. So you got to get it moving again.
You know what I started doing, Dr. Paul? First of all, I do the rebounding every day. So when I found this out, I started tapping while I'm rebounding. And if you have a problem in any area of your body, when you're rebounding, you should tap that area.
You got it.
My hand.
That's right.
Rebounding. Hopefully it will break it up and take it away.
There you go. That's what the key is, that they're going to see something there, but doesn't mean it can't be readjusted and corrected. You got it? Without surgery. They always want to rip, burn, or cut something out. That's a problem.
Yeah.
You know, so you try all those things before breaking the skin.
Yeah, I told him I'll get back with him in a couple months and let him know what I plan to do.
Yeah, and try all those things. You'd be surprised. You know, regular massages in that area can help. They can really help. A hand massage, yep. Regular hand massage to get that lymph moving again, break up any calcification that's going on in that area. See, that's actually grouping up. It's trying to say there's a problem here.
Right.
That's what the tumor is, trying to grab it and bring it to one ball. You know, to see if we can, you know, isolate it or quarantine it from the rest of the body. That's what it's doing.
Now,
Got
we
it.
were on Saturday listening to you talk about the bitter cup.
Mm-hmm.
Don't mind, can you please elaborate a little, because I ordered 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Your people, they called me and I took care of it.
So my people call your people, your people call my people.
Go
man.
my people.
And the only problem I have is I'm going away soon and I want it before I go. So
Okay.
I just asked the person, your people, if I could pick it up instead of you mailing
Okay.
it out. Is there a way I could come get them?
When are you leaving? When are you leaving?
I'm leaving the 15th of December.
December 15th. When is that? That
That's
is
next
Next week, next Wednesday.
Next
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday? Is that soon?
Yes. Next Wednesday.
Yes.
I'm out of here.
It's real soon.
I'm going away for over a month, so I would love to have it with me.
Okay, so give me a call. Give me a call, and we'll see what we can do. I have to talk to Ivy and Mulaney and see where your order is in there, and we'll see what we can work out for you because of that situation, okay?
All right.
But yeah, absolutely. The bitter cup. The bitter
Talk
cup.
about it, please.
All right.
Yeah, thanks over there to Karam. Karam
Yeah,
done
yeah,
started
yes,
something.
yeah, he
He
started
done
something.
started something. Yeah, he done started something.
Dr.
Hey,
Paul, but before you go, I'll get away
Yes.
from the Himalayan salt baths. How long should one sit in the salt bath, or spa?
Well, as a bath for the whole body, I would say get it nice and warm, and you get in there for about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, about 30 minutes. And but for the hand bath, that can be 15, 20 minutes. You know, as long as you're trying to give it. You know what it's also going to do? It's going to relax you. That's the
Yes.
thing, and it brings you back into the state of what's called sympathetic stress,
Right.
or parasympathetic. I'm sorry, parasympathetic stress, not sympathetic. Sympathetic is
Right.
male principle. Parasympathetic is female principle. So that's relaxation. Got it? So it helps to relax you. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Very good.
What do you
very
put in that bitter cup?
Okay, that's the whole thing we got to talk about. I'll talk about it before we leave, though. Okay, bitter cup is something we talked about, and that's the whole thing that Karam introduced us to.
Yes.
But I'll go into that afterward. I'm going to wait for a little bit. I'm going to get some more calls. Let's get someone on the chat there, Big V.
Okay.
Come back to the bitter cup.
All right. Here's one that says, post-COVID, I'm experiencing intermittent coughing and shorted breaths when walking a few yards. I have, let's see, they have Dr. Dr. Christopher's ear and nerve and Indian wild bark cherry syrup. What protocol do you recommend to help fight this bug? I have no fever and still have my taste and smell.
Okay, and they have this is
This is post-COVID now.
right,
Or
right.
had COVID.
So things that come to mind with post COVID have to do with definitely water, dehydration. So make sure your water's right. Sleep. You got to get sleep. So that means when you're taking the old Indian or you're taking those things that we talk about as far as the herbs that are overwhelming. See, we have an overwhelming protocol that I gave out, which actually cleans the blood, but it also overwhelms virus. And that has to be taken, and you got to go to bed. You got to rest. That's the key. Key is rest. You regenerate 20 to 30 times faster when you just go to bed.
Yes.
Don't take the stuff and start moving around and trying to do a lot of stuff. Sometimes you got to take a day off work. and just shut it down. Got it? Stop trying to do things and get to sleep. Don't leave the TV on and have the TV going and all off. Got it? Pure blackness is when the melanin releases from the system to actually start to go and start to generate to correct the body. One melanite cell corrects 20 to 40 other cells. So that's where the healing begins. So I would have to look at them to see what they're doing, and we would probably increase some of the things that they're doing. So I would have to look at the whole thing. There's no general question for that, but I would have to look at what they're doing. Okay. All right. Igby, anybody else on that side? Or I'm gonna go to the top.
One here says experience a lot of congestion. Doctor says there's allergies, tending to lose my voice along with the congestion. What can be taken to loosen and flush congestion?
Congestion with the voice also? Did they say voice?
Yes, right.
Okay, the perfect one for that would be stinging nettle. Stinging nettle. That would be the herb stinging nettle, olive leaf, mullein. We just talked about mullein. Also, horehound. These are these herbs that deal with mucus, phlegm. There are astringents. Yerba. Those are the ones that we would use for that. See, if I were to put one though, that because she said voice, that would be stinging nettle. Yep. I usually do a combination. You know what I do? If you're somebody that sings or someone that is a public speaker, you may be a pastor or someone who's a group leader or someone that teaches that, on a regular, and you use your voice as your instrument all the time, singing also. I usually take what gives the voice strength is the nettle along with alfalfa. That's what it is. Usually alfalfa along with nettle tends to drive it and gives it more strength, because alfalfa is a powerful herb. And it pushes it right to where it needs to go, which is the larynx, and therefore it helps to get rid of voice issues. Also ginger. So that would be a perfect formula right there. Alfalfa, nettle, and ginger.
Okay.
Like the ginger root.
Right.
Yeah, and you remember, y'all can take some ginger root. Y'all know that ginger is powerful. You could take the ginger root and just shave it into some hot water, let it sit for a few minutes, and then drink that as a hot tea. That's an excellent medicinal. And I think, Helen, you were asking what can warm you up. Some ginger tea. That'll do it. That'll warm you up.
Thank you.
That'll warm you up. You might have to take your jacket off. You'll be like, whoo, it's burning up in here.
As a matter of fact, I do drink ginger. It helps me with the colds. Like if I start getting like a little rattling or something, I take it, takes it right away.
Absolutely. Ginger is very powerful for that, but it's also, it deals with mucus. It heats up the lower burner. So that means like infections and things like that, UTIs, urinary tract infections, anything that deals with your body needing to resonate and give it more energy. That's what ginger is used for. Okay.
Dr. Paul, I have a question.
I
have one that's from the chat box. It says, it's in reference to embolisms stemming from COVID disease and vaccines. Herbs can be used to combat the clotting. It says they know of 4 people who developed clots within a week of getting the vaccine. They was diagnosed this morning.
Tell y'all, they've already put it out and said that they cause clotting. So you got to start to clean the blood again. You got to go back to cleaning the blood every time, y'all. It's something that's causing a lot of clotting. I don't know if y'all seen the lines of what's happening out there, but they're showing a lot of young folks that are just collapsing and dying.
Yes, I saw that.
Did you see that, Big B? Yeah, they're just collapsing, like they're falling because there's a warning of what's called myocarditis, We talked about myocarditis, which is inflammation of the endothelial, which is the vessels in the arteries and veins, and also the lining of the heart, where they get damaged and they can't push, and then they just literally stop. And then that's when you get people just, man, they show pictures of people just falling over, boom, just falling, dropping dead right on the field, soccer field, basketball players, football players. So yeah, there's a lot of clotting going on. So what do we use for clotting? A couple of things.
On the news or nothing. That's the problem.
Yeah, they're not showing it on the news mainstream, but you're going to see it all online, and you got video to show it, to prove it.
Yep.
So it's not something that people are making up. You're seeing the videos. The things that we do, my number one is any of the alliums. You got it? The allium family. Any of the allium family would be the red onion being the highest. Got it? The red organic onion, all the way down through the scallions. I'm sorry, down to also the garlic. Okay, those are all the allium family. Those are the scrub brushes. They go through, and they're natural antibiotics. That red tea, let me tell you, red onion tea does wonders. If you don't have that formula, go to my website, drpaulherbs.com. Go to download the red onion tea. Got it? The organic, we call it Bushman tea. Big B.
Yes.
Bushman tea. So it's good because it breaks up all that stuff. But also, can you imagine also the food that people are eating with the canola oils and the plaque that's built up from these fast food industry, which is that's actually compounding a lot of the people's issues. So when people are having like it's the hamburgers and all of the fries and all of that stuff on there, you got to watch the oils that they're cooking that stuff in. That's the problem. That stuff is what's clogging the arteries and veins up. And then when you add on top of that, the clotting, it's not a good situation. Do the red onion. Got it? Get the red onion. Get that done. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Add a garlic clove to that. You can do that at the same time. All right? All right. Was that it? Was that the rest of the question?
Yes, that was it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got it. All right.
I'm trying to get understanding what you're saying. Clotting, you mean people whose blood is not clotting?
It is clotting.
No, it is clotting. That's what's happening. See, when the blood clots up, there's several types of situations that pull immediately into danger. You got hemorrhagic strokes.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? Or you have ischemic strokes, and then you have TIAs, which is transient ischemic strokes, which means it's moving. That means the clot's moving. That's like the quick stroke. Somebody says somebody had like one of those mini strokes. You ever heard of mini stroke? Mm-hmm. It's a TIA, transient ischemic, which means that the clot's moving. That's like if for example, like if your toilet is backed up, and then all of a sudden it breaks through for a little bit, and then the next thing it get clotted for 5, 10, 15, 20, it's blocked up, and then all of a sudden you use the plunger and plunge it. Now, that time that it was blocked up, you had a stroke. You got it? Hemorrhagic means the vessels are busting. That's the worst of them all. You don't want that kind. And then the ischemic is the one where you got some kind of clotting that maybe causes you to actually have to do like a stent or a bypass or something like that. So all of them are bad. They're all clotting. And that's where they're seeing that people are having more clotting issues than ever right now. So, and it's not by age, because these are all young people that are having this. These are young people, in their teens and young, very much early 20s, 30s that are having the problem. Okay.
Is red onion tea, would these be good for someone who actually had a major stroke, or it's too late?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
The red onion tea and the garlic? Okay.
Yep, absolutely. It's a food. It's a natural antibiotic at the same time. And that formula is right on my website. Like I said, you can download it. Okay. and it's been used for thousands of years. They've even found red onion in the actual red onion preparation in the scripts in the actual temples of the pyramids, ancient pyramids. Yeah. So they were using the onion for detoxing then. Yeah. All right, let's see. Who do we got up here? Is that Simone?
There's Simone up in the corner there.
Hey, Simone.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Simone.
Hi, how y'all doing?
All
good,
right.
Good.
Good. Thanks for taking my call. I hope everybody's doing well.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, I when I got on last time, I said I had to go to my oncologist, and I went to her yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants me to get, she didn't even really look at my breast. She just said, oh, I want you to get on Imbruvica.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, everything y'all have is toxic.
Mm-hmm.
So why should I even consider, and basically she was saying, if you don't do something, you're going to die.
Oh, that's pretty bad bedside manner. Oh,
yeah,
God.
that's what she said. That's what she said. I was like, really? She said, well, I'm just being honest with you, and I'm trying to, be a good doctor and tell you what you need to know, and you need to do something. And so
I'm trying to kill you.
Yeah. That's what she
I'll
said.
kill you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So she's saying, is there blockage in a certain quadrant of breast?
I do have a tumor. Yeah, I do have a tumor in my right breast. Yes.
Okay.
I do. And my lymph nodes are involved. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So we know that goes back to the lymphatic system is not moving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Right.
You got to go back to remember, no processed foods, get your water right, but you got to start moving. You got to move those sweat glands. That's the key. Sweat glands is what drives the lymphatic system. You remember?
Yes.
They have the lymphatic system does not have a pump. Not like the first system, which has arteries, which actually has a heart, which pumps arteries and veins. The lymphatic system does not have a pump. It only has muscles that overlap. See how my fingers are? Yeah, they only overlap like this, and they twitch. But they only move when you move. So that's why we got to get the exercise back in. So I always tell those that have blockage, remember, you got to start to watch the heavy meats. And then also start to do daily recommended exercises at the same time. So if it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, try to do that exercise the same time. Because that's when your body starts to look at that circadian rhythm. And it says, okay, now we're going to start to sweat. And then that sweat is going to move that lymphatic system eventually. Now, there are herbs that we do, which would be, not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent disease, dead food for the soul. Oh, I'm getting fast with that one. Chaparral. Chaparral is one that moves that. Chaparral, alfalfa.
Right. You told me the alfalfa and the alpha lipoic acid.
Alpha lipoic acid, those things like that. Glutathione, got it. These are things that move the lymphatic system, but I would really focus on that chaparral. Chaparral will move it. But it starts with exercise. I really would say stress on that exercise. You got to get it moving. You got it. That's why the rebounding is one that we highly recommend. The rebounder.
Yeah, I do have one.
Yep. Get on the rebounder and just get it moving, because that starts to move. And then also a lymphatic massage. We did here on the family tree a while back, didn't we, Big B?
About a month and a half ago.
I showed a video of the lymphatic, massage that you can do.
It's in the chat box.
It's in the chat already.
Hey, Prophet, you fast, boy. Woo. Boy, she like lightning. I'm gonna start calling you lightning. That was fast. Yes. So grab that link right there, and I would start to get that moving. People, we got to start sweating. You got to get sweating again. Yep. You got to get sweating. That's what moves the poison out of the body. See, eventually, if that backs up, it's going to start to try to protrude outside of the skin now. That's what the bumps, the blisters, the boils, psoriasis, eczema, things like that start to rupture. Eczema on the back. moles or skin tags, all those things that are coming out of you is the body trying to detox. Okay, so I would say, Simone, just get it moving. Okay, and make sure your water's right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I do have a rebounder. I saw somebody say something about a rebounder. I do have one, so
okay.
I am gonna do that. And I already came and saw you in September, and I'm waiting for them to call me for my next appointment.
Okay. Well, you're gonna be right on time. You're gonna be right on time. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, Simone.
Dr. Hall, you mentioned the link, guys. Again, let me remind you at this point to make sure if you get a copy, of the chat, you'll be able to click on that link and go directly to the video. So you'll have all the information in the PDF. Okay. So make sure you order the chat.
Good stuff, Simone. Good questions. Good questions.
Can I ask a question? The herb chaparral, is it good for just Simone's issue or the lymphatic system in general?
It's just in general. Yeah, it's good for moving the lymphatic system, which means the toxins. Remember, the lymphatic system is where the body says, this is where we're going to get this out of the system. This is where the bad cells, bacteria, virus, fungus, sepsis, parasites, even cancer. Did y'all hear that? Well, even cancer, which is really cells that are no longer, that are basically tearing down at a rate where it has less than 40% oxygen. That's considered a cancer cell. Wow. So the body says, hey, you got to go. It's time for you to get on out of here. So how do we move it out? The body says we're going to recirculate it one more time to get it out of here. So your body recirculates it through, this lymphatic system in preparations for alleviating it out of the body. That's like when you finally go to the bathroom, you're going to look in your poop and it's going to be like a mucus pad in your poop. Got it? That's the lymph that's coming out of you. You ever been exercising and you exercise and the next thing you know, when you get off the bike or something or you walking and your legs start to itch like crazy. You're like, oh my God, what is that? It's like it's itching all over my back, my thighs are itching like crazy. That is lymph finally moving.
I'm sorry, not to be gross. What did you say you see in your poop to know that's your lymph?
It's a mucus pad.
Oh.
A mucus pad. That's mucus.
Linda, you should always check your poop. Guys, stand up and look at it.
Always.
Always. That's how you know what's going on with yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta know what's going on.
Yeah, make sure you check your poop now. All right.
And Dr. Paul, you remember the 19-year-old girl that they had sent home to die that you worked with?
Yeah. There's a lot of lot of situations where people have come through and they gave them this that same manner, that spirit and that manner of, if you don't do what we do, you're gonna die. Mm-hmm. And that's the sort of like a termination type, bad bedside manner. And that's where everybody comes this way. And then you know what we say? Yep, that's where you need to be. Come on this way. We'll take care of you. We reset the body by putting you back in balance. Remember, it's a perfect system created by a genius. You've been breaking the rules. So what you got to do is just get back on course. Now you start to do the right things, body corrects itself 11 times faster. Got it? So yeah, we've had several situations like that where people came in and the world gave up on them. The hospitals gave up on them. We came through. We got them right. Got it? So it happens. Yeah. All right. So let's see here. We got Charlotte. Is that Charlotte's Fire?
Fire.
Yes, Charlotte. Hey, I have two questions. One, my niece newborn, he's 3 months old. Mm-hmm. He has severe eczema all over. She did try to breastfeed him, but when she breastfed him, she did take in dairy products, but she stopped. And now he's on a soy-based formula.
Get him off of that.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know what to tell him. He still has eczema. Poor thing. He's so uncomfortable, stretching all over the place because he has it all over his body and it's everywhere.
Yeah. And how old is
he's 3 months now. 3 months.
Right.
Now the mic is clearing up a little bit, but
right. I'm going to say a very controversial topic: vaccines. You got it? Had he had vaccines?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's had vaccines or not.
Okay, that's a
Pretty much.
question. That's a question because that needs to be concerned. You know, whenever they're that young, did you know that before 18 months, they're trying to give our children about 45 to
Yes, Lord.
47 shots?
Yes.
Got
Yes.
it? They're
Ridiculous.
trying to give them. There's no way in the world that a child's immune system can take that. You know, the mother is the immune system. That's why the baby is being breastfed. It's not the baby doesn't have an immune system yet. It's still developing. So they're giving, you know, shots for hepatitis for a child.
Yes.
Wait a minute. How do you give a hepatitis shot, which is for STDs, to a baby that's an infant? That makes
Before
no
they
sense at all. That makes no sense at all.
And they give it
So-
to them before they leave the hospital.
Yes.
They give it to them before they leave. So remember, all you got to look at the scene of the crime. The scene of the crime is the effects of what's happening to the child, which means eczema is a sign of the body trying to push that poison out of it. So I'm going to do it. If you're going to do it to the backside, far away from the heart. That's why when someone's been exposed to any toxicity, it's always going to break you out on the back of your arms or your backside or your behind, all the way down to your legs. You ever notice that? You say, why am I breaking out on my backside? That's because the body's trying to protect you. It's trying to keep it away from your heart. You got it? That's what it's doing. So detox is in order. Children tend to not need a whole lot. That's why we just get them on natural green drinks, things like the green drinks that we have, and we just get the water right. Keep them away from the poison, the candy. Don't reward them with sugar. Don't reward them with sugar. Got it? That's what you got to do. You got to you get them in the right state of mind. Give them other things to reward them by. Don't give them sugar. That's a problem. That's a major problem because our society rewards each other by nurturing of sugar. You know, we always talk about that. You remember? We like say, hey, come here, give me some sugar, Honey, I'm home. Everything is sugar. You got me? So you got to get away from nurturing each other and especially our children with sugar. Got it?
As far as the baby goes, right at this point, I don't know. He's only on the formula right now because it's 3 months.
Right.
What can she do? I saw the prophetess put up a recipe. Can she use that kind of recipe for him being so young?
What was the recipe? I missed the recipe. What was it?
I saw it briefly. I'm on my Fire tablet. That's why I can't see it right.
Yeah.
It's
so
your formula. It's the eczema formula with the coconut oil, aloe vera gel, oil, neem oil, and lavender oil.
Right. That's for topical. But really, because she's breastfeeding, we feed the mother. She's not breastfeeding.
She's not breastfeeding. She stopped.
Why is she Why is she not?
You know what? I don't know whether it was uncomfortable or whether she didn't think she was doing enough. I don't know, but she's not.
I would strongly encourage her to go back to breastfeeding.
Yes.
Okay.
Because remember, there's nurturing there. There's bonding there. There's also this thing called, the love hormone, oxytocin. It's called oxytocin. And oxytocin is the love hormone that allows the child to bond to her. Got it? Just understand that the right breast is the detox breast. The left breast is the feed breast. You'll notice that the baby may not take one side versus the other sometimes. But whenever she starts to detox, the baby may say, I'm not taking the right side. The baby smells the detox happening with the breast. See, they smell. It's a smell.
Right.
So when she just needs some help with the process of starting to lactate again. Got it? So she needs things like, not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent, she's just food for the soul.
All right now.
Fenugreek comes to mind. Fenugreek. You ever heard of that one?
No.
Okay. Fenugreek. Fenugreek. That with things like red raspberry.
Okay.
And things like milk thistle. Those are for women to help them lactate, so it makes it easier for them to produce milk. Okay. Those are the things that we recommend. Fenugreek specifically, though. That one helps to lactate, so it takes the stress off them. Fenugreek. Fenugreek.
Okay.
Fenugreek. Got it?
And yes. And the second question, I have it. So like a trigger thumb.
Trigger finger.
And a trigger, yeah, and I can't. I'm about to try to go get a splint to put on it so it'll stop. Because whenever I move it, that's it. A little sore.
I have a lot of people got trigger fingers, boy.
Yeah. Been there, done that already, Sean.
Okay, so again, going back to soaking. Got it? Soaking.
Okay.
Himalayan salts, into, regular salts, soaking.
Okay.
I would use the comfrey cream, also MSM. That's what I really would recommend. And for pain, if it's painful, you can also use, remember, connective tissue. I did miss one. For connective tissue is sea buckthorn. See, that's omega 3, 6, 7, and 9. So that helps with, the connective tissue. So whenever you're able to go like this, see, it actually, remember, it's too much acid is going after the tendons, and therefore it's causing all those problems. So we gotta loosen those up. And one that blows away omega fish oils is sea buckthorn. She looking at me like, come on, Doc, you smelling all these words out. SEA buckthorn, BUCKTHORN. Sea buckthorn. You got it? So that's what you would use. Yep. All right.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Take care now, Charlotte. Thank you. We got Apostle up there. Always good to hear from the Apostle. Did he leave? I think
I think he's still up there somewhere.
He's up there, but he blanked out on his pictures. So
there he is.
There he is. There he is. Reverend Hopley, how you doing, buddy?
Dr. Paul, it don't seem like it, but we've been at this together almost 11 years.
Yes. Wow.
Amen.
And our whole mission is, as you well know, particularly in minority communities, that we're in a food desert. They're dumping all that junk in our communities, and we are addicted to how stuff look, convenience, smell. Mm-hmm. We're attracted to that stuff, and as a result, that's why we have all the health-related problems that we have. Mm-hmm. And I personally want to thank you and Bill, your commitment to helping us to be educated, to be well-informed, and more importantly, to become healthy. Because in our community, see, when people get sick and they die, Dr. Paul, it drops over here to the ministry community where I'm at. And I got a friend of mine that he's a partner in a funeral home, and I was looking on his website. And Dr. Paul, if there wasn't 150 people in there that had died within this year, and I'm not talking about COVID related.
Amen.
I'm talking about people died from stuff we talking about. 150 funerals in this year. Wow. And they had everybody's obituary up there. And I'm like, man, and so that's where I've been crusading. We don't need that many funerals. Number one,
I know that's right, my friend.
That's right.
We need our people, and we need our members too.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
The church can't run without the members. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I'm very passionate from that end of it, and you're passionate from the end that you are. And of course, Bill and I, we've known each other 30 years, and Bill been preaching to the choir since I met him. You know what I mean? So I want to start there. Dr. Paul, I've got some issues that have recently come up. When I started traveling over to Ghana in 2019, I noticed that particularly my right foot would swell up on me. I've been and my daughter, she's worked on it with some essential oils. She gave me some omegas and kind of worked on that. And I've had the assessment with you, and you told me that you were addressing the issue of my arteries. You want to make sure, you said, I see a little blockage in the arteries. And of course, I had diabetes for 7 years prior to going through the regimen you put me on. And is that the after effect of having had diabetes for so long? Because I know you deal with neuropathy.
Yep.
Those kind of things. The other thing that has affected is that my close eyesight has gotten very blurry. To the point that when I wake up sometime in the morning, I get these, it's almost like, it's like spider webs in my eyesight. and I've noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
And then here recently,
Mm-hmm.
my food is not totally digesting, and it's affecting my breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, when I get short-winded like that, I actually will throw up some of the food that hadn't totally digested. So those are three things that are going on with me. And I want to know what were your thoughts?
Definitely. Let's talk about the circulation. Number one, when you're looking at circulation, it could be post effects from diabetes, which means that the nerve endings are actually inflamed. So immediately, what comes to mind is butcher's broom. You remember the butcher's broom?
Yeah, I'm on butcher's
Got
broom.
it. Okay, butcher's broom, horse chestnut. Got it. Horse chestnut.
And
But also,
I think you gave me Uber Ursi or something.
well, Uber Ursi is for the kidneys, because whenever there's swelling of the feet, definitely you got to look at the kidneys. Got it? Because that's the
You gave me
kidney.
that, and you also gave me Golden Seal, but you took me off of Golden Seal.
Right, not the golden seal. I would say looking at dandelion root. Dandelion root. That would be a new one for you, because dandelion root actually has the ability to regenerate the kidneys, but also pull the water off the leg. And that's where the ankle, if it's the foot, the ankle, the leg, anywhere like that, sort of regenerates. It starts to kickstart it. And dandelion is an excellent kickstarter. So I would definitely introduce that. And that's the root now, the root. So dandelion root. What was the other thing you said? Digestion, right?
Yeah, because what ends up happening is it'll digest most of my food, but I noticed that if I get that shortness of breath, then it'll come back up, and I noticed that, and particularly here's the funny thing, with meat.
Yeah.
I've actually been cutting back on my meat consumption, and just trying to be cognizant of certain things. You know what I mean?
Right. For digestion, I would do a preparatory. Usually what we do is a preparatory to help you with the digestion, because that is stressing on the liver. Because when you have meat actually can't break down. If the liver, if it's having has a problem breaking it down, and it creates this uric acid. And the uric acid sometimes gets trapped in the joints, the ligaments, connective tissue, and all over the body. So some of the things that we want to do is we take aloe vera gel, aloe vera gel, but you take it 30 minutes before you eat. So it helps you as a preparatory. So you take it on an empty stomach. You would take aloe vera gel, and there are some with and without pulp. So either one works, but you would take that 30 minutes before you eat on an empty stomach. Then
is that in a capsule form?
It's actually in a gel. You can get it in like a gallon, like a gallon of gel. Just get a big one, and you can go to your herbal stores and get that. You keep it refrigerated. And every time you're about to eat, take it 30 minutes before that, and that will reset the gut in preparation for getting the villi or the villa. So you have these things like these little hairs in your gut called villa or villa. Yeah. And sometimes from over like years and years of medication, and things like antibiotics, just GMOs, just exposure to chemicals, it can actually block your villi. Like this, it like blocks it, or it can wipe it out. So we have to regenerate it again, because that's what helps us digest, or what we call assimilate. But if you can't assimilate, we got to regrow that villi in the gut. It starts with things like aloe vera gel. So I would give that a shot and do it as a preparatory before you eat, 30 minutes, and on an empty stomach.
Now, how do I take it? I mean,
yeah, it's like it's actually a gel. It looks like a gelatin, And what you would do is take about 2 to 3 tablespoons prior to 30 minutes before you eat. If you do that before each one, you can correct that situation very quickly.
Does it have a taste to it?
It's like the aloe. I love it. And that ain't what you're gonna hear in here though. If you're gonna be like, no, I think
no taste.
It has no taste.
It has no taste at all.
Has no taste.
It's like water, has no taste at all.
All right. We got the peanut gallery going there. Like, no, it had no taste. It doesn't really have any taste, Rav. And you can adjust it to it. If you've taken the herbs and things for a while, so I don't think you're going to have a problem with it. But if you do feel that it's a problem, start off slow. You know, crawl, walk, run with it. Start with 1 tablespoon. If you really feel like it's a little hard to get down, try, just one at a time. But usually it really does work. And we've helped people with issues with diverticulitis, issues with irritable bowels, Crohn's disease, rebuilding the gut, issues with diarrhea, dysentery, all of those different things, which are gut issues. We reset. See, you are coming out of a post period. Somebody mute yourself. You're coming out of a post medical situation, because everybody know that Rez, his testimony is that he no longer has sugar diabetes.
Yes,
He got it.
yes.
And I'm sure y'all have heard his testimony several times. But you're coming out of a time when you were taking it for 9 years, I think it was. How many?
7 years.
7 years. So that's 7 years of taking medication.
Yeah, I was
And
taking
after a while.
insulin and metformin.
And metformin, yeah, and both of those are very, very toxic, and they come and they really even the side effects will tell you that it taxes the liver and the kidneys.
Yeah.
Yeah, liver and the kidneys. So I think you're doing well, but I think those will help you.
And what about the things in the eyesight here that I?
Now the eyesight, I would get back to specifically. There is Dr. Christopher's Eye Bright formula we talk about, and I wouldn't wash your eye right now. I wouldn't do that. I would just put that drops into your green drink. Okay, put that in your green drink, and I would increase the green drinks to at least 3 a day. Got it? Because usually you got to keep that energy enough so that you can get the amount of energy and nutrients so that the eye can start to detox. Usually, remember, the cranial arteries in the eye are very thin. So when you have issues with long-term with diabetes and stuff, you remember they constrict and they start to thin out. And then that causes blockage, which gets into cataracts and eventually glaucoma. So what we want to do is dilate them and open them up again. So that Dr. Christopher's formula has Eye Bright in there. It has bayberry. It has golden seal. It has even a little bit of cayenne, because that dilates the arteries and veins. Things like the beets, asparagus, artichokes, of course the cayenne pepper, those are dilators. So all those should be added also to your food diet. But yes, put that right into your green drink. So get the Dr. Christopher's Eye Bright formula, okay?
Okay, Dr. Christopher.
Shakira will have that. Yep.
I'll deal with the dandelion root. Right? And what was the last thing you had made reference to?
Yeah, Dr. Christopher's Eye Bright formula, and then also the aloe vera gel.
Yeah, aloe vera gel. That's the one I was thinking.
Aloe vera gel.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff is in the chat, Reverend Halsey. So make sure you get a copy.
Thank you so much.
All good stuff, man. That's a perfect segue right there, because so many people are having those post effects from medication. And, they never talk about when someone has multiple medications. They say side effect for one drug, but they don't know when you have 3 or 4 at the same time. That's called an antagonistic effect. That means they haven't accounted for that. They haven't accounted for what happens when you take this, and this. All right, well, what happens? We didn't figure that one out yet. So that's what happens with a lot of people. It all makes the body acidic. So we got to continue to be alkaline.
I tell my wife that all the time. I say, listen, when you mixing drugs, I said, you see on television when they advertise, they give you one or two benefits and you got 4 to 5 effects.
Exactly.
Now then multiply that.
Yes.
You're taking multiple medications and you don't know what the effects of mixing that stuff is.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. You remember Levert? Y'all remember Levert, right? You remember that was one of the things that, he was, because he was traveling, he was going from pharmacy to pharmacy, and they missed a deadly concoction that they had with him because he went from different medications. So he went from one store who had him on database to another store who actually did not have him on database, and he got it for the first time, but he didn't know that it didn't catch it, that he was taking a very deadly concoction. So that's what.
Again, with Prince, same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Prince. And here's one of the things that happened. My wife, when she had my youngest daughter, she went into postpartum. And I had never seen anything like that. I mean, this is a perfectly sane woman, a senior pastor, and she couldn't pull it together. And what we discovered was they had given her some kind of medication they had given her, and she got a bad reaction to it. It was a bad reaction, and so I had it put in her chart that she cannot take this particular medication because she got an adverse reaction to it.
That's right.
So we were in the hospital for something else that had happened to her, and she was in the bed. Wow. And here comes the nurse with her little cup, and she's going to give my wife this medication. So I asked her, I said, listen, did you read the chart? She said, well, the doctor this, and I said, I didn't ask you that. I said, we manage our own health. You take care of the medicine, we take care of that.
That's right.
Did you read the chart? Did you follow the procedure? She wouldn't answer me. I said, if you try to give my wife that, I'm gonna knock it out of your hand. You're not gonna, I told her, you're not gonna kill my wife.
That's kidding.
You're not gonna kill my wife. I said, go back and read that chart.
That's right.
I was adamant about it.
That's right.
Read the chart. It had it right in there because I had it put in there that she had bad reaction to this particular medication,
and they were about to give it to her again. Wow.
She had it in her hand in that cup, get ready to force that on my wife. Then she wants to be all apologetic. I said, see, that's why medicine is so high, because you guys are not following procedures. And I said, and then imagine, you're going from shift to shift, and then human stuff can happen. I said, you could have put my wife, you could have killed my wife or made her permanently damaged. I said, let this be a lesson to you. This is why the hospitals get sued like they do, because you guys are not paying attention. And I said, anytime you put any medication in your hand, you need to pay attention. And then the last thing is, the worst person to give you medication is a doctor or a nurse, because they're not trained in pharmacology. They're trained in everything but medicine. They give them just enough medicine to know how to administer medicine. But the truth is that the pharmaceutical companies are giving them incentives and they're pushing that medication. That's why when you go to the doctors for cancer treatment, they know that 97% of their treatment does not work. They know it. But they can't get paid. Unless they give you that chemo and all that. They know that stuff don't work. They know it.
One of the amazing thoughts and amazing numbers that we used to always talk about, 300,000 people die every year taking medication they don't even need. And 700,000 die of a procedure that they went through. That's 1 million people unaccountable for. That no one can get away with that but the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah, but Dr. Paul, Philadelphia is the city of the eds and the meds. We have more teaching hospitals than any place in the country. And because we have the talent, now the bio industry is targeting Philadelphia because we got a lot of talent. What people do, they come here and get educated, and then they move to other parts of the country. So what the business people say is, all right, we're going to stop this talent from leaving the area. So now there's a lot of like for instance, the old Buds plant over there on 82. That's going to become a whole bio campus.
Yes, I saw that the other day. I went by there and I saw the new signs up there. There's in the back part of it, they have the bio signs. Yep, I did see that.
And then the old DuPont plant, 168 acres. That's going to become bioworks. And this is what's going on. And so down at the Navy Yard, they're building a new building, bioworks. So Philadelphia is going to become the hottest place in the country for bio industry.
That's right. That's right. All right, Rev. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for always the testimony, brother, and bringing some knowledge. Let's give Reverend Halsey a hand. Yes. Thank you so much for chiming in, Rev, and dropping that knowledge on us. And that's what it is. It is a ministry eventually because, a lot of people have passed away and it's going over to the ministry side. They see it all. The end result is always going to be on the ministry side. So thank you, Rev. We appreciate you, man, for chiming in. All right. All right. We got some Big B. What's on your side, buddy?
Well, I thought we were going to go up top of that, Dr. Paul. Was it Corbin? K. Corbin?
Okay. K. Corbin.
Okay,
we got K.
There?
Corbin.
And then we'll go to Judith then, right next to K. Judith, you there?
Judith?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just looking at the hands of Dolores then, right next to Judith. Dolores?
Dolores?
Hello,
Dr. Paul.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Mr. Bill.
Yes.
Dr. Paul, I wanted to ask you a personal question. It's like, where do you do your shopping, your food shopping? Because
I shop everywhere. Yep, I shop everywhere. But it's the way you shop and where you go and how you find it. So you remember, you're looking for non-processed. You can find some things in the very most precarious places, but you got to be able to know what you're looking for. You got to stay away from refined sugar, refined salt, refined oil. I tell people, they have unrefined sugars right in Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
They sell Himalayan salt right at TJ Maxx
and the dollar store.
And the dollar store. You got non-GMO projects in Save-A-Lot.
Mm-hmm.
You got all these places. So that's why I'm saying it's how you shop and what you're looking for. Stay away from the processed foods. There's a lot of things that people know that, this new revolution of holistic health, everyone's going after it. That's why moms came up. Now you got what? Weaver's Way. You got what else? You have of course you got Trader Joe's. What's the other one that
Whole Foods?
Well, we know we got Whole Foods, but what's the other one? Not Moms, but what's the other one? Sprouts. You got Sprouts. So Aldi's, don't sleep on Aldi's.
Yes, that's
Aldi's made a statement. Their president went out on the rim and said, look, we are going after the holistic market.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start putting holistic food that is affordable for people to get.
Wow.
So it's not hard, but it's just you got to get more informed. If you don't know, you don't know. Somebody said ignorance is like having a cold. Sometimes you can't help it.
Yeah, my daughter worked at Aldi's, and she said, man, people are going everywhere else. They need to come right there. They have a lot of
they got a lot of stuff in Aldi's, let me tell you. So I would look at all of those places, but get informed about what you're looking at. That's why we have this platform here with the family tree, so you can know what to look for. Stay away from things that have already been processed. There's a lot of stuff out here now. There's a lot of stuff out here. You can find fresh fruits and vegetables. Also support your co-ops that are in your area. So if you're in West Philly, North Philly, there's places and co-ops everywhere. Sometimes you just got to ask and go to the places that, have the farmers markets, things like that. You'd be surprised. You'd be very surprised. Okay?
Okay. And Dr. Paul, I wanted to ask you another question. What is the bracelet that you have on your arm?
This one right here?
Yes.
This one right here is a tiger's eye.
Okay.
Tiger's eye. That's for... Someone gave this to me. They just came back from... Leah came back from Nigeria. And she gave that to me. Yeah, see that right there?
Yes.
From Nigeria. Got all that sun down there. Got all that good energy. That's why I'm so hyped today.
All right, Dr. Paul.
Thank you. Thank you, Dolores. Appreciate you. All right. Who else we got there? Is that Lydia? Hey, Lydia.
Right
let me get unmuted. Okay, can you hear now?
Yeah, got you. We got you. We got you.
Well, I think you answered one question that regarding extreme diarrhea as a result of some possible food poisoning. You mentioned, I forgot what it was. You said the dandelion root. Is that what you said to use?
Yeah. But I would, if you said food poisoning.
Well, I think so. The person said they think it was from eating some salmon. But I think it was from also 48 hours, a combination of eating some meat before that, but I don't know. But they had extreme diarrhea, and I said, make sure you have a lot of water. I said, but something else you need, probably the green drink to balance out everything. I said, but I'm going to find out.
Yeah. Green drink always works, to help flush that stuff out of you. I would definitely, now don't sleep on the parasite formula also. One way that and I know we've always introduced that to the family as colon cleanse parasite formula, 1-2 punch. But if you ever get in a situation where you think that you might have something in your gut, like food poison or something, the parasite formula works well. That's the eliminator that I have. Yep,
Yes.
that would be an excellent formula right there.
So you're saying
Take
if the
that.
person just start taking
There
that
you go. Yep, that's it.
by itself?
Yep, that it right there. That
Because
itself.
yeah, because they already have, you said they take the green drink and that would clean them out. Well, if they're already having the diarrhea, they don't want to get any
No,
more.
no, no. That's the deal with any parasites or things that may be causing, diarrhea. See, the whole purpose of diarrhea is that there's a foreign invader in the intestines.
Yeah.
So the body says, send extra water to flush it out. So your body's already trying to flush it out. That's where the watery stool comes from.
So do the green drink and the eliminator.
Yes, that's what I would do. Yep.
Okay.
But yeah.
Another question. What would person do for, they said the speedy process of dementia? They're in an accelerated portion of that. They've been diagnosed with that. So, and I said, it gets about to be the quality of life at this point and what they can do.
Are they bedbound or are they in the
No,
hospital?
they're fine now, but this is what the diagnosis fine now as far as, but you can see it's a difference in.
Yeah. Well, actually, let me think about that. There's a lot of things you can do. Any of the mushroom family helps with that. Any of the mushroom family. So things like the lion's mane, the any of the cordyceps. Okay, cordyceps. They're called cordyceps. Yeah, cordyceps. Cordyceps actually is mushrooms that deal with memory, focus, attention. Ashwagandha is good. But here's one. Let me give you one that may be a lot easier for delivery system. Okay. And that's the coconut oil with MCT. Got it? Coconut oil
with MCT.
Yeah, MCT, right. MCT is medium chain triglycerides. They did a study of Alzheimer's and dementia, and they had people who had hardening of the arteries, atherosclerosis with the hardening of the arteries in the brain, and they had no short-term memory at all. Long-term memory, they can remember when they were a little kid, but you can tell them, something simple in a matter of minutes, and they keep forgetting it over and over. And so somebody here may know what I'm talking about, specifically if they had diabetes and it causes hardening of the arteries in the brain.
Yeah.
So that short-term memory goes real quick. You can say, they can tell you to get them a glass of water, all right? And okay, you go get them a glass of water, sit it right in front of them. They look at you 2 minutes later. Then I say, can you give me some glass of water? And then they keep going over and over and over and over.
Yeah, repetitive stuff.
Yep, it's
what
very
did you
repetitive.
say, MCT? Is that a pill or a powder?
No. Medium chain triglycerides is what's found in coconut oil.
Oh,
so they did this study. Okay. They did this study. They did a study and said the person who has dementia or Alzheimer's has a problem with focusing, tension, memory. So they actually have them draw a clock.
Okay.
Draw a clock. They say draw a clock and put the numbers in it. Some of them couldn't even, remember? You couldn't even draw the circle. Some of them couldn't even draw numbers, couldn't do anything. So they started administering the MCT along with it's actually inclusive because they just add coconut oil with additional MCT.
Okay.
And just by a tablespoon, just putting it in their cereal in the morning, it actually allows to get to the brain, the ability to receive to the connectors and the neurons what could not be processed, which is causing the hardening of the arteries.
Right.
So that person they came back, they were writing the circle, they were remembering stuff, they were doing exercise, it's a total transformation.
So you say take a tablespoon of cereal, is that the only way to take it?
Yeah, it's an oil. So it's actually, you'll find it in the oil section, like when you buy the cooking oils and things. Well, there's a section in there that may have what's called matter of fact, let me see if I can pull one up. Coconut oil with MCT. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
I do, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
This first time I heard this one.
Mm-hmm. Coconut oil with MCT.
You can get it really inexpensive at Costco.
a real big bottle for like $17, $18.
Very good for memory. Very good for memory. Yep. And that's one of the things that I was using for my wife when she was after her stroke. I believe that really helped her tremendously in getting herself back on board, because when they were trying to do all the things they were doing, I was sliding that right on in. They said it smelled like Wild Kingdom up in there. But anyway.
But don't say you take it. Is that the only way you take it is with cereal? Can you take it?
No,
any other way?
you can take it. You can take it just like that, just a tablespoon, right to the mouth.
Okay.
Yep.
Is
You
that
can take it
once
that
a
way.
day?
But remember, when you're dealing with, you may have a challenge with someone who's having issues with how to deliver it to them. So you try to get it in whatever they're doing naturally on a regular basis. So whether it's their food, their cereal, get it in there some way. Yep.
Is that once a day or
You can't overdose. This is food, so you can do it like 2-3 tablespoons a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone suffering with a stroke. What else did you do?
Well, it depends on the situation. It depends on the situation, because everyone is not going to be the same. Remember, I think there's 3 types of strokes: hemorrhagic, ischemic, and TIAs. So all of them you deal specifically with. I'm gonna tell y'all, grab a little garlic. If you can take a little garlic, it ain't nothing. I used to, do you know why? When my wife was in the hospital, I used to take. That's why they were saying it smelled like Wild Kingdom, because I would take raw garlic, right? Make small chips out for her, and she would take that along with the Crystal Geyser water at the same time, like little shots, like thinking like this, and then she would just do that all throughout the day. After a while, pressure just went, shoo, all went down. So that actually, remember, that's the alliums. Remember, alliums are what? Scrub brushes, moves and dilates at the same time, opens up arteries and veins. So that was one thing that I used a lot of, was the chips. I used to take the little, take a little knife, and then I used to make the little chips, garlic chips. Okay. Okay, I couldn't hear someone.
Dr. Paul?
Yes.
I was asking how many cloves of garlic did you use?
No, just
Collect.
doesn't have to be a lot, just as much as you can take. It only takes one. If you get some organic garlic, it'll wake you right on up. You'll know. You don't have to take a lot. Yeah. All right, Lydia.
One more thing. Someone that's in the 3rd stage of kidney failure. This is what they've been. They don't take any more medicine. They said they're not taking that, and it's probably a result of the after effects of diabetes and things like that. But they were told they're in their 3rd phase of that.
I would give them. I would tell them to jump on some celery and keep it moving. I would just tell them just juice. Get some organic celery, and just go to town. That and some dandelion. You can take the dandelion root and add to that celery and just keep it moving. That and water, I would just continuously do it. Those specifically dealing with the kidneys. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. All right, Lydia. Thank you. All right, Big B. Let's grab a few more. I got let me grab.
Well, you know what? We missed Kay a while ago, but she put a question. I guess it's a young lady. Is detoxing the first place to start along this path to health?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Absolutely. Get it in, get it out. That's right. Purge yourself with the toxins. That's the key for so many people's sicknesses, that you got so much sludge and junk in the system that when you eat food, you can't absorb it. You have no assimilation. So your body just says, hey, I just can't assimilate this. It's too much. So it's trying to purge it out the best way it can. So impacted colons, undigested foods. We got so much chemicals going on. It's crazy, y'all. It really is. I mean, what they're doing to the food, if you were just to see what they spray on the food, it would make you never want to eat the stuff ever again. It really would. And I am, one thing that came up, I'm going to be checking out this week about the salmon, because remember, 2022, they're supposed to be letting you know what's in The salmon. You got it? Remember, we said 2022? So I'm going to check into that. I have to follow up on that. I haven't heard any talk at all. Nobody's saying nothing.
Maybe that's why he got sick.
Yeah.
That's what he ate.
Yeah, I think so. Dr. Paul, don't forget to tell us about the cup.
Oh, the cup. Here is the cup. Here's the bitter cup right here. See that? That's the bitter cup. Okay, and you can see it right there. Okay, and this is small. It's about two shot glasses size, right there. You got it. And what you just do, this is this cup comes from the Amazon. It was by a brother actually discovered this. His name was Quasia. And he actually took this particular tree, was from the Quasia, and they called it the quassia plant or tree. And when they mold this thing down, this thing, if you pour water in it or anything you pour in it, the actual wood actually absorbs the water and pulls the tonic. It's like an activator, pulls the tonic into the water. So now it becomes a medicinal drink. So literally when you take this, it becomes it is the bitter of all bitters. So this is actually more bitter than wormwood, which I thought was never going to have anything more bitter than wormwood. But yes, this is more bitter than wormwood. Matter of fact, the quinine, the hydroxychloroquine that, your, what's his name, used to take? He's mentioning his name.
45.
45.
Yeah, 45.
Used to take. Well, that quinine is found from the cinchona tree, another bark out of the Amazon, just like this one. This one comes from the Amazon. And the quinine is the leading thing right now in the drug war that they're having against things like coronavirus. Got it? Remember? So this is 50 times more bitter than quinine. Wow. This is amazing. So all you got to do is pour water in it, fill it up, and it absorbs the water, and it goes down just a little bit. And in a matter of literally, they say a day, but I literally taste this in an hour, and then I couldn't hardly get it down.
My God.
I was like, wow, this thing is powerful.
Do I order one?
It's called Bitter Cup. And thanks to Karam over there. If y'all looking at me, he's right next to me on this side. You see Karam? Raise your hand, Karam. Karam said, yo, man, you ever heard of a Bitter Cup? I said, no, man. It happened right here. How about that?
Yeah, I remember.
And
It might be
order
bad
one,
if you
Dr.
say it
Paul.
tastes bad.
And I'm telling you, it's bitter. But I can take it because I'm used to things like the black seed and a lot of the other ones, are like the wood root tonic. I'm used to taking like Bisavera, all that stuff that's real deep. And I'm gonna tell you, this thing is deep. If you can't see God, you ain't looking. All you got to do is put water in it. You ain't even got to do nothing. You got to boil nothing. You ain't got to do nothing. You ain't got to turn.
How do we order it, Dr. Paul?
Like I said, you got to go to just call up my number, 1-877-377-2854. Talk to Ivy or Mulaney, and they'll get you in. All right? And we're taking it as first come, first serve, because we are getting them directly out of the Amazon. We're getting them directly out of Amazon. So they're shaping them. And
the number in the chat?
Yep. It's my office number. It's my office number. Same one you did for your assessment. Yep.
Dr. Paul, the gentleman that you had on Saturday talked about how you use that cup. Talked about putting water in it and leaving it in the refrigerator for 12 hours.
Right. Now, you don't need that long. I'm going to tell you. You ain't going to need it that long. I'm going to tell you. Wow. I understand what he was saying, but, these cups last for 2 to 5 years. Did y'all hear that? 2 to 5 years. It can last even longer when you don't use it. You just put it in a Ziploc bag and you keep it in the refrigerator. That's what you do. But this is actually bitters, and you remember what bitters do. They bind to toxins, bacteria, virus, fungus, parasites, and all that stuff, and flushes it out of the system. So I'm just saying, but I ain't saying at the same time. This right here.
Only once a week.
He said once a week for, the minimum, but people who have chronic conditions may want to take it maybe twice or 3 times. Okay. But it's just a bitter tonic. And that means when you drink this, you got to drink water also.
Vaccine.
I'm not saying that.
I am.
But I am saying something.
Yeah.
Come on, folks. Read between the lines, family.
You can take it with you on the airline.
I'm not saying. But I am saying. This right here is 50 times. Remember that. 50 times. Remember what quinine did. If quinine, that was part of the transatlantic slave capture of our people in Africa. Remember? They were having a problem because of malaria. And it was the quinine that allowed them to take it that killed the issues with malaria to allow them to even do what they did. Got it? Mm-hmm. So this is 50 times more powerful than quinine.
Now that's deep, guys.
You got it? So that just gives you an idea of something, and all you do to get the batch is just you put water in a cup and you let it sit. I'm telling you, if you sit it for about an hour or 2, you're not going to be able to bear it. You're going to be like, whoa, I can't imagine 12 hours. This stuff is powerful.
How much do they run?
This right here is $20. They go as high online as $30 and $40. Yep. So that's why.
What did it do to you, Dr. Paul? What do you
mean? It's a detox. Are you listening?
Oh, wow.
Are you listening?
That brass.
Are y'all listening? Is this mic on?
Do you hear what I hear?
Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I heard?
It's a detox. This
Dr. Paul, what's the number again? Your phone number?
Yeah, it's the 1-877
1-877
377
2854. I'm putting it
That's
in the
my
chat,
number.
Dr. Paul.
And then you can call up Ivy. And then also remember, if you're going to green drink, we do still have the specials going on with the shop.drpaulherbs.com. That's where you can get the colon cleanse also and the parasite. It's like you go through the green drink, and then from the green drink, you can get the upsell is going to be, they're going to give you the offer for a green drink if you want that. And then at the end, you can decide what you want. Also, I have a Mastering Healthy book, which is called Mastering a Healthy Lifestyle, which is a self-guide booklet. It's about 10, 15 pages, but it's going to be a guide that you can keep with you on your tablet, on your phone. Quick stuff that we talk about. Like we talk about the water, the type of water. I talk about the top 10, or actually I expanded on the top 10. So I got a more toxic list. Goes into also the different forms of medicine, allopathic versus homeopathic versus naturopathic, the difference, who's talking to you, who you're talking to. So it's a quick checkbook of how you can keep things in check, and you can order all that from shop.drpaulherbs.com. So all right, Big B, we got to get ready to get out of here. I'm going to get Anthony. I got one more.
Paul.
Yeah.
This is Judy Davis. Can I get my question in?
Judy, where you been? We ran past you.
You know what? I don't have no millennials around here, and I'm a retired school teacher, and I got old as far as this technology.
Don't you start. I'm older than you are.
But
Judith, you fell asleep, didn't you? Yes, you did.
I'm going to hang out with the millennials. I'm going to hang out with you young folks, because they're the ones that's going to help me to get through this.
All right, real quick, Judith, because we got to get ready to go.
Is I had been having some problems all around my toes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I went to a podiatrist and he told me, you see your toe, the big toe, that ain't gonna change. So I need to know what is going on with my toes.
Oh, what's
my little toe? I have like it's the nail is sort of like a dark color.
Okay, whenever you see dark nails anywhere, that's liver. That's liver. So when you see whether for the hands or on the feet, that's number one, liver, and also circulation issues. That's what
Okay,
that is.
now my doctor took my blood work and she told me, and she's a MD, DO, integrative. She told me my liver and my kidneys were looking good.
Well, that doesn't mean they're not congested. That's totally different. Yeah, you can still have congestion in the liver, and it could be no problems there, but it doesn't mean that you're not generating the proper amount of energy in there. So you can have congestion. Billy Rubin. Yeah, they tend to remember. We're talking about different. I just said this: allopathic versus homeopathic versus naturopathic. You got three different sciences going on. Sometimes they'll look at stuff and say you all right, and we're gonna say on this side,
Yeah,
no,
and
no.
that's what I want. I have to. I'm dealing with reality now because this is our body, you know.
Yeah.
And
So
you said spirit, soul, and body, and I know that God had my body, and it has to come into alignment.
yeah.
And I'm doing all that I know to do. So now, Dr. Paul, what is your recommendation for me to get that liver cleaned out?
Well, this is what I'm just going off what you're saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you need an assessment. That's what you need. You need to be assessed before anything. If your foot is having, you got to make sure it's not a structural issue going on with your foot first. And that means that structural could be the way you've been walking, the way you've been planting the foot. It could be a lot of different things going on there. That's when you got to go to a podiatrist. Okay, or even a chiropractor will be able to set the foot also.
Okay,
so I
did go to Dr. Roberts.
Dr. Lane Roberts.
He took some X-rays, and he kind of pointed out what was going on, and now he's sending that report back to my doctor so I can go from there, or I can continue with him. Now, his prices was really up there. And he wants to see me 3 days a week.
Well, that doesn't mean that you got to deal with him. The whole point is your goal right now is get information. There's no price for what you're about to get done because it's the information that you need. So I would suggest if you have a problem with the price, just go to another doctor. Don't let that stop you. Got it?
Right.
You know, we gotta get out of that, y'all. We gotta get out of that.
I hear what you're saying, Doc.
Yeah.
Now, I tried getting to you, and I live right up the street from your office. I'm right here at 200. And I can't get in your office until March the 17th.
Well, we do have a first call cancellation list. Okay, make sure you're on the list. Okay, first call cancellation list. And when someone cancels, that's where we actually call those numbers, be available. Okay, so when you call Ivor Mulaney, we got a lot of sick folks, y'all. We got a lot of sick folks. And I was telling somebody today, you know, this is the same message that I've been doing for 20-something years. Never changed. But everybody's waking up now at the same time.
Amen.
You got it?
Yeah.
And then everybody's bum rushing. I got to get my health right. I got to get my health right. But that's why we're saying we're taking you the best way we can get you in. You know, and when we spend the time with it, that's the key while we're having things like this forum right now. So that you can spread the information and tell somebody what they need to do. You need help, we got to get together as a family first and start to discuss the things that you do. So fundamental principles, we now have a lot of strong fundamentals right here in the family tree. Y'all know what water, if I say what kind of water y'all get, everybody in here know, crystal geyser, right? Why do you take that water? How much water you take? Have your body weighed in ounces. See, we're getting all those fundamentals. See, if I keep repeating this over and over, you locking this thing in. You got it? That's the key. That's the key. Fundamentally, we weren't taught these things. We were taught a Western European system that was not indicative to our culture. You got it? That's why it don't feel right. When somebody's talking to you and the doctor's saying something, you sitting there going, I know that ain't right.
You're right, Dr.
You sitting there going, I know this ain't right. This no way this can be right. It don't address your spirit. You remember I just told you.
Yes.
Spirit, mind, and body in
That's
that
right.
order. You can never separate them. So that means when you go to a physical doctor, they're only dealing with 1/3 of you. Got it? Spirit goes to the what? To the religious institutions and churches and things. What? Mind goes to what? The psychiatrist. Body goes to the doctor.
Yes.
You're all
Yes,
over
yes.
the place.
Yes.
Yes.
You got
Yes.
it? So you got to bring all those back together. That's why spirit, mind, and body in that order. When you
Yes.
walking down the street, this is a perfect way we always use the example. You walking down the street, right? You can't separate the spirit from your mind and your body. Let me show you. You walking down the street, and then next thing you slip on a banana. Oh Lord! See, you just attached, slipping on a banana to the Lord.
Wow.
See there. You just attached, slipping on a banana to the Lord. See, you can't separate these because that's the way we did. Every culture we were on the planet, if it didn't praise God, we weren't in it. Period.
Amen.
That's it.
Amen.
You got it? We weren't in it.
Dr. Paul, you really enlightened us on that sexual debate. I never heard that one before, and
Yeah, I can't give that class because I got pictures of the positions that are used for like heart disease, diabetes, stuff like that. Yeah.
That's a whole nother class, Judy.
That's a whole nother class.
Hey, but Dr. Paul.
That's for
next
healing.
week-
They're called healing positions. I'm gonna stop right now. It's time to go.
Hey, Dr. Paul,
good
next
night,
week when
Judith.
Dr. Paul, next week when you start out, you were talking about how to get women.
Yes.
I was talking about how to get women.
Yeah, you were talking about how to get women along with the same thing you just talking about, the positions and all that. You mentioned somebody you can do something how to get women.
Well,
I don't remember that one.
Can you get this woman and answer her
how to
question,
get the
please?
woman you want or something like that.
Yes,
Oh no.
yes.
No. I gotta clean that one up.
Yes, please do.
No,
You can tell whether
we were
she's the right
talking
one.
about matching and
yes.
rites of passage and matching. And you can tell on a certain person's face and how we used to look, and you can tell what was right for a man and a woman to match up. Height, weight, things like that. There's a chart that we do. Absolutely. That was part of rites of passage.
Okay.
It's a class we do. We do a class.
Lady, get off my phone, lady.
You do a class?
Yes, we do.
All right, I have a question before you hang up, please, real quick.
Okay, go ahead, Betty.
Well,
go ahead.
First, I want to state that last week you said when the next time or when you go to the doctors and when they take your pressure. So I put it to the test and it did work. They called me back and my pressure. When she took my pressure and I asked her, "Can you please wait another 10 minutes?" And she did, and my pressure score went down by 10 points.
Wow.
Yes.
See
and
there?
so the other thing is, where are you located, and do the insurance company pay for your medical insurance companies pay for your services?
No, because we don't deal with pharmaceutical drugs. So this would be out of your pocket, right? See, when we dealing with, when you're dealing with with the cards and things, that's dealing with pharmaceutical drugs.
Right.
So we actually are outside of the box. They would not allow us to be able to do things like that because we have a total different philosophy about what we do. So that would be out of your pocket. That is correct. Mm-hmm.
And so one more thing, I would like, where are you located?
I'm in the Elkins Park, 7804 Montgomery Avenue, and that's suite number 6, and that's in Elkins Park, PA.
Okay.
Now you can go right to my website. You can get everything. So it's Dr. Paul Herbs. That's DrPaul Herbs HERB as in boy S as in Sam .com. Okay, you can get everything right there.
All right. I have to make a decision sort of kind of around. I go see an oncologist January the 4th. And so you think I can get into get an assessment?
Again, the best thing to do, and this is for everybody, okay? This is for everybody. Remember, people are canceling every day. I'm telling you, people have things, appointments, they can't make it. Some people got things, they're going out of town, stuff comes up. So that's why we have this first call cancellation list. Just get on the schedule and then call Ivy, talk to Ivy or Mulaney and tell them, put me on that first call cancellation list. They go down this list all the time. And guess what? People are not available. People are either, sometimes the window may be small where we don't have, because we get last second people just canceling, which is really what disturbs the whole situation. Some people won't even show up. And it's like, we're sitting there like, yo, this is crazy. And we didn't even have time enough to go into the list. So it's a lot about, we're trying to tell people, if you set up an appointment, have the courtesy to actually, if you can't make it, just let us know so that we can get somebody else in there.
Yes.
People will set up appointments and not show up. And
charge them anyway.
I hear you.
Amen.
But the point is, if we could have waited, if you could have just gave us a day's notice, we could get another person in. We just ask for courtesy. So these are the things that I deal with on a regular basis. And so it's a challenge on every level. So we're trying to keep me getting in, but get on that first call list and be available. That's because that's what Ivy and Mulaney are going to say. They go down a list. Sometimes I've seen them go down a list of 50 people and nobody's available. Either they left a message on the phone, somebody wasn't home, because they're calling from a 1-800 number, and I believe
and some people don't pick up because they don't recognize
it's a 1-844 number. It's not a 1-800 number. It's a 1-844, and they think it's like a bill collector or something. And nobody answers the phone, and we're like, yo. You got me? It's 1-844. That's my number. When that pulls up, that's us calling you, trying to get you and making you available. You may want to jump on that. Got it?
Okay, that makes a difference.
Can you give us that whole number, that 844? Could you give us the total number?
I don't know what the callback number is, but it's a 1-844 number. See, that's a callback. It's a callback number that comes through our system. It's a server number. So it comes back. So it may regenerate a different number every time because it's coming from a computer server. Right. So it's not going to be the same number every time. It's a computer generated number. So, but I can
just remember it's an 844 number.
844. Y'all probably was like, I ain't answering that.
That's me. Yeah, that's me.
Ain't nothing but bill collectors.
Okay.
Yep. So that's what I'm saying though. If you book an appointment, if you know you can't make it, just come and tell us and say, hey, I'm not going to do it, and we'll try to get you in when you feel that you can get in. I'm telling you, Ivy and Mulaney are the nicest ladies in the world. Everybody's ever dealt with them know that they will be as polite as possible. They're trying to help you in any way. They will call me directly and say, can we do something with this? And I'm like, yes, we can do this, whatever it is. So they have a lot of ability. They work miracles for me. Right. So that's why I'm saying.
I'm looking forward to it because I could walk to your office from where I live.
Okay. So like I said, get on that list, okay? But the main thing is get booked. So no matter where it is in the line, just get booked. And we will try to move you in. That's it. Okay. That's all we do. Make you available. All right, Big B, we gotta go. Y'all wore me out today, boy. Y'all got some good
get to you today, boy. What's up with you?
Man, I'm gonna have to take my bitter cup after all this, man.
You know what, Dr. Paul, while we was on the line, I made me some red tea.
Well,
you did. Yeah. Well, I might have to come on get some.
All right.
Get me next.
All right.
Can I be your first next week?
Okay, yeah, Anthony, I got
yeah.
you. I
We
got you,
guy.
Anthony. We'll get you in, all right? But as soon as you jump in, all right? First thing, all right? We'll
All right,
make
man.
sure we get you next week, all right?
Appreciate your patience, Anthony.
All right, family. Big B, tell them how they can help us continue to keep this family tree going. Because y'all
Yeah.
kept me around. It's almost 10 o'clock. It's past my bedtime, man.
You know, got to
It
get
ain't
you out.
9:30 yet.
Don't start.
I hear
Don't
you, Lydia. Just
Don't you start. Okay, hey, listen, guys.
All right.
First off, to make sure you get a copy of tonight's chat, put it in. Listen, guys, just send me an email, mechavideo@gmail.com. That's mechavideo@gmail.com. To continue to support us and keep us here, guys, listen, use Dr. Paul's Cash App, right? That's, what is it? Tell me. Okay, $ Dr. Paul Hop. Dr. Paul Hop. And go through the bank, guys, use your Zelle and send it to the IDs mechavideo@comcast.net. And we also have a P.O. Box, guys. That's P.O. Box 191, Mullica Hill, New Jersey, 08062. Make it payable to Bill Morgan.
Okay, all right, Big B.
Yes, sir.
All
buddy.
right, family. I want to thank everyone and put your hands together for yourself for showing up tonight.
That's right, guys. Yeah. Hey.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody.
All right. I
Appreciate
want you
everybody
that
for
everyone
showing up.
have a great weekend and be encouraged, be strong, and like I said, continue to take this information and share it with somebody. That's the only thing I charge you with tonight. Is that what you got today?
Yeah.
Share this information with your family and your friends, all right?
Yes.
And that we can all live a better quality of life. So God
There you
bless
go.
y'all. May God keep y'all. And remember,
God bless you too. Thank
because
you.
if you're breathing,
You got a shot.
Got a shot.
That's right.
all right.
God bless.
Good night with love. Night with love.
Hey. Darling.
All right. God bless y'all.
Bless you. All right. Hey.
See y'all dance. Let me see who can dance out there.
And young Frida over there waving. I see you. Hey.
You hear me?
All right. Yes.
Some of y'all just shaking your head like this. Some of y'all too cool now.
Hey, good night.
They about to fall
And see-
still.
Get tapping, Dr.
And
Paul.
Brenda got coming and got hold her head. Nigga head go side to side. All right.
All right.
Rita. And
All right,
Rita,
y'all.
neck up. Go ahead, Rita. Hey.
Don't forget tapping.
You can raise your hands and move your hands if y'all want to. They just got the head moving. There y'all go. There you go. There you go.
Hey, y'all. Yeah.
All right. We want to thank everyone all the way down the line. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we appreciate y'all.
Yes.
It has been truly a pleasure. Man, let's tap it out before we leave. Tap it out. All right, real quick, tap it out. Good. Tap it on the head and breathe. Good. Breathe. All the way to the back of the head. Good. Breathe. Coming down to the head, right here, to the temples. Good. Come on down to the jawline. Good. All the way down to here. Right under here, K27, that's actually your kidneys right there. That's your kidneys. Then right in the middle, that's the thymus right here. That's for cancer. Releases the ability to fight cancer right here. Right in the middle, right in the breast, right in here. And breathe. Good. Then you got the left and the right side. What's on your right side? Y'all not say fat. Liver and what? Gallbladder, right? We also on the left side. What's on the left side? Pancreas and what else? Spleen. There you go. All right, last thing. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Breathe in the nose and out to the mouth. Blow that carbon dioxide out. Good. Hey, Frida, I see you got a little one there. Breathe it out. Good. One more. Last thing, give you a little energy. Come on, heat it up, heat it up, heat it up. Heat it up, heat it up. That's your energy right there. All right. Heat it, heat it, heat it.
Okay, Helen, that's your heat.
Have it, heat it up. There go Helen. There's your heat. All right. And then when you take it, take the bottom one, keep it there, and move the top one. The top one, like that. Keep the bottom thing. You feel something? You feel it? Like a little ball right there. Feel that's your energy. How about that? So what you do is one more time. That's your energy. So we do what's called the energy bath. So wipe it down. Don't touch yourself now. Don't touch yourself. I know you're tempted. Don't touch yourself. Wipe it on down.
Please don't.
Lily said, please don't.
Wipe it on down. Because if you ain't had a bath tonight, you just got one with an energy bath. See there?
Burn it up.
All right. God bless y'all. May God keep y'all. And remember, be encouraged. If you're breathing, you got a shot.
That's right.
And thank you for chiming in on the fan.